Welcome to the Backlog Chronicles.
We are a podcast that challenges fanboy beliefs
and takes a pragmatic approach to all things gaming.
We strive to create a community for self-thinking fellow gamers.
A community where logical conversation can take place.
And a drive to further one's knowledge of gaming can be sparked.
Take a seat.
Show's about to begin.
Hello. Hello. How's everybody? Oh, wow. Look at this guy, bro. Man, you're doing a 360 too? Damn. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? All right. Welcome to TBC 66 on this September 19th, 2021. We are short a person today. Our brother, Kevin, he is recovering, I think, from Ebola or something, you know what I mean? But I do wish him the best. No, but seriously, no, he's a little under the weather, but so we do wish him the best, and we'll keep an eye on him. But aside of that, thank you guys for being with us, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you all. I'm Mo, Dr. Mo Mokauma. I'm here with two of my sons and two honorary sons, returning guests, our brothers Nick Downie and Eric Jackson from the Gaming Perspective, and other. I know you guys got other projects as well. I'm sorry, but I thought you can drop them in right now as when I introduce you to. How you guys doing, baby?
Twitter streets clean.
Twitter streets clean, man. That's what we do, man. It's a crusade, bro. Yes. It is our crusade.
Twitter streets. All right, Eric, you're gone already. Like, you're fired.
No. What's going on, guys?
Lord of the Spaces.
How you guys doing? You guys okay?
Good, man. Good. Great. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah, happy to have you, man. Yeah, dude. Awesome. Good to see you guys. And I'm also here with Aladdin himself, Mr. Jordan, the dashing debonair. How you doing, sir? What's going on?
Good, man. I was just I was gonna do an Aladdin reference, but I lost it. But yeah,
that's
good, man. I had to dig deep for that. I wasn't ready. You caught me off guard.
I know. I threw you off on that one.
It's going good, man. It's a rainy Sunday here for me. We're about to start the wet season here in the Pacific Northwest, so it's going to be full indoors mode essentially from here on out. So, which is not a bad thing because we got a lot of games coming out. So,
that is true.
Deathloop's the current grind right now, and I'm sure a lot of us are super excited and enjoying it. We'll talk about it more later.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, guys, happy Sunday. Nick and Eric, thanks for coming on, guys.
Absolutely, man. Let me answer Ilu right here. He said to keep my head to the side so he can watch the game. Ilu, I am positioned naturally the way that I am, so I can see the reflection of the TV. So trust me, man, I'm with you. My man, Machine Gun Mike, how you doing, bro?
Yo, I am good, Mo. This week has been pretty chill. Just playing games, trying to catch up. I feel like I am catching up actually, so it feels good. And I'm like on the prep time for the incoming volley of games within the next few months.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure. That's not gonna be well, it's fun. I can't say it's not gonna be fun. Of course, it's fun. It's always fun, Let me start first with Nick. Nick, how you doing, man? What's new? What's going on?
Oh, just hanging. And, the quarantine hair is getting longer and the quarantine beard continues to grow. I'm either going to look homeless or Norse by the end of this, honestly. So we're going to see which way it goes.
All right.
The latter.
So we're working on that Thor cosplay, man. I already got the gut, man. We're good on that. Right.
Hell yeah. That is the Thor for all men. For all realistic men.
Yeah. This is my Thor.
That is that is my Thor.
Oh my god.
The Thor for everyone.
The Thor for everyone. Oh shit, that's good, man.
That really is like an achievable Thor for so many people. Like, you look at Chris Hemsworth, you're like, I can't do that. I can't.
Come on,
that,
man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Right? That Thor, you're like, all right, I can do that.
English accent, blonde, muscular. I can't, bro. But that Thor,
right?
There's a reason why I love God of War. And they just
Yeah.
reinforced it with that Thor. So I appreciate you, Santa Monica.
Hey, that Thor is based on McRib. I can do that.
McRibs.
Oh,
Goodness.
shit. That's good, man. Good to have you. And Eric, finally got you on here again, bro.
Finally, man. Finally.
Oh,
After
yeah.
numerous cancellations. People don't think I'm like a diva. Like, oh, he can't come through. What's going on?
Just a little bit. Nah.
I don't have that much going on. Like, honestly, well, yeah, nothing that interesting, I should say. But I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Let's do it, man. We got a lot of fun shit to talk about today, including, like Jordan was saying, Deathloop. But, I do want to go around. I want to ask everybody what they're playing. I already know what everybody's playing, but I'll mention it anyway. Let me start with you guys. Let me go to you, Eric. What are you playing first, man? What have you been playing in the past week?
It's been interesting. Like Nick, I've talked to Nick about this, and I haven't really had that much time to game, right? So the dilemma I find myself in is two of my most anticipated games have now caught up to one another, which being Psychonauts 2 and Deathloop. I am still working through Psychonauts 2 because I'm also trying to 100% it. So that's where I'm at right now. I haven't even started Deathloop, so I feel like a complete arcane stand fraud like right now. So it's there. It's waiting for me. I did not want to put Psychonauts 2 down, as the game I was looking forward to, as being a huge fan of that franchise. I can call it a franchise now that it has a sequel.
Yes,
and it just didn't feel right to put it down, even though Deathloop is here.
Good idea.
So
I support you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. You're sticking with it. That's good, because if you leave and you jump ship, you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all done that at some point. So that's smart, man. Finish it up. Deathloop ain't going.
I'm almost there. Exactly. I'm almost there. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Nick, what you been playing, man? Besides the obvious.
Well, besides Deathloop, I would also like to encourage people to full-heartedly experience Deathloop at its best. Being mildly intoxicated, or if you're taking magical edible procedures to get there, that game is a trip. Especially with the people online invading you. I got so mad at a kid who kept invading me because I was like, he kept invading me. I kept shotgunning him in the face and killing him. And he figured out like my PSN and kept invading me afterwards. So like every 5 minutes, I was like, why won't you stay dead? It was painful, man.
So
Persistence is key sometimes.
So it has griefing in Deathloop now. Huh?
Oh man, I set that to friends only, and it only got worse. So,
Really? Okay.
But I'm having fun with Deathloop, and the other game I'm playing, I can't even talk about. So there's that.
I like that. Okay.
Cool.
You know what, bro? Don't bring that bullshit over here, all right?
Hey,
Tease me like that.
You leave the man alone.
Like.
I can't help it.
I did play Song of Iron. If you want to hear me go on a rampage about that for 10 minutes.
Because I'm pretty sure that's not the one that you can't talk about.
Actually,
I can't talk about that.
Did we ever discuss Song of Iron like any further?
No, I publicly basically won't say anything about it.
Okay, yeah.
My mom always told me if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything.
don't say anything.
Yeah. Because like months ago when I played the demo and Nick was like, "How was it?" I was like, he's got time. He's got time.
It's not any different than what the demo felt like.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
That's what Nick said.
I played that demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Same,
I'm not gonna trash it.
No, absolutely not.
But it just wasn't fun for me. I didn't really enjoy myself too much with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I said, I won't trash it. Shout out to him. The dude's going for something. He's trying to live the dream, and he can come back with something else. And maybe he bit off a little more than he could chew, but there were just things in it. I was like, I'm not feeling how this moves. I'm not feeling the combat.
Yeah.
But again, it's not a thing like, oh, this is the worst ever. It's a one guy like trying to do something. So I'm not going to shit on him like that.
If anything, really, I mean, you could tell that there's, I don't know how the fuck this just turned into Song of Iron, but let's
I know, right?
If anything, if you play the game itself, obviously, like the biggest standout in the game is the visuals. It's certainly not the gameplay. So I mean, if he's already, I think the game's already become profitable for him. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know how much it cost him, and I don't want to get into that, you know. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of upside for where he can go with the series and what he wants to do in terms of like getting more help and helping more with the combat and like the stiff, clunky, you know, gameplay aspects that I didn't enjoy. But you know, hopefully, good for him. One man show. He did what he could. It was an admirable effort. You know, so at least like we can give him that. But yeah. That's our fucking Song of Iron conversation right now.
Yeah. I don't know how. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to derail us.
No, man, no, that's cool. That's cool. That's all right. So did Nick already tell us what he can and can't play? Is there anything else you want to add, buddy? You know,
I mean, I'd love to talk about what I've been playing, but I really don't want to get shot
no,
in the
that's
chest
okay.
by EA.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I don't want EA to shoot me in the face right now.
Oh, wait, who? He gave me a tidbit. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's good. And then Eric, you said so yeah, again with the whole Psychonauts thing, that's good. Finish that up.
Brilliant game though, man. I mean,
yeah, definitely. Brian from the UK, thank you for being with us, man. I know it's vampire hours for you right now. Appreciate you being here. Game Positive, always a pleasure, brother. You guys should check out his channel. He's freaking awesome. All right, and then let me go to the dashing debonair himself. What have you been playing, man?
Hello.
Fresh off of a show this morning.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you playing, man?
I was playing some of the recent additions to Game Pass. Superliminal and I Am Fish. Superliminal is awesome. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it is a first-person puzzle game that initially came out in 2019. But it's from what I've played so far, I'm getting a lot of vibes of Portal, just in terms of like where it's going and just how inventive the puzzles are. The mechanic in this is forced perspective. So if you take an item that you interact with and like hold it like far away and you step away from it, it'll actually like shrink in size. Or if you walk near a wall, it'll get freaking huge. So you have like chess pieces and building blocks that are like towering over you. It takes place in a research lab where they're doing like dream therapy. So that's kind of how they're, I guess, explaining how you're doing what you're doing in this game. And then I Am Fish is just a little physics-based puzzler from the guys that made I Am Bread. You essentially control a fish in a globe, and you roll him around all these houses in the suburbs to get him back into the ocean to reunite with his fish friends. And it's actually pretty charming. Some frustrating moments. There's a checkpoint system, but it's not very generous at all. And you'll have some objects you have to roll in, like a mason jar, which does not roll straight at all. So you're trying to navigate planks that are towering over buildings so you don't fall to your death. But aside from those fun little games, it's Deathloop. But yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? Muted Mike.
Sorry. Sorry, my family is jamming back there.
So you just explained ladies' confusion because she said you were confusing her.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Also, chat, I want to know what you guys are playing. I'm very curious in what you guys are playing. What have I playing? The basic Mortal Kombat, I bring it hard in the tournament. I finally reached the tier or whatever it is and online to get these golden Sub-Zero outfits that I was like fighting for or whatever, and it's like the furthest I've been in ranked, and it was a good time. Yeah, I just got beat up a lot there, like in the end. And then I was playing a lot of Fist this week, and man, it seems like Deathloop and Fist are some of the games that like you're not seeing talked about, but when I play them and when I see what they offer, I am just like, why not? Like I don't see a lot of, like I see some people talking about Deathloop as in like, oh man, you got to experience it, you know what I mean? But Fist, on the other hand, nobody's talking about that game. I got stuck in it not too long ago, about 15 hours in, and I got stuck in it. I'm trying to find like my objective, and I was like for story purposes, like I just want to get there and get through this game, like and prep for the upcoming. And I try to look up a walkthrough to get to that one area, and there's not even walkthroughs on the internet for it. And I was like, oh man, dude, like somebody needs to get in that space.
There's no walkthroughs because no one's playing it.
Exactly. Wow. But man, when I play it, dude, I have these like it's super nostalgic. It feels like I'm playing as Zero but just modern day
Yeah.
Mega Man X. You know what I mean? The dashing, the combat that's there. I got the third weapon, which is like, just a. You've seen them in the trailers. They're like Kratos' Blades of Chaos, which is cool in a way, a small like
I haven't
thing. Or
gotten
whatever.
there yet.
It's cool, man. Like as more as it goes, the better it's getting, and they introduce some old school elements to where you're like, oh man, not like this section. But then they like kind of with the weapons and how everything is going, they're like, no, you can get this section will be fun because the cool thing that we did with this little thing or whatever. And then it becomes like not a drag anymore, but they do kind of like throw you. They're like, yeah, okay, it's a water part, okay, and they're like, oh yeah, you got to breathe, and then it's like they kind of like whatever, they do something about it, and it's really awesome. The boss battles get intense, 2 at a time, 1 at a time with a bunch of little dudes, and they're like volleying bombs at you at the same time, so you're dashing around trying to get your hits in while like maintaining your gauges for your like superpower or your health, because it's like Dark Souls in a way or whatever. But I feel like the combat is what shines, and the little things that they did with this side scroller game. I haven't played a side scroller game in a minute, and this is like, to me, this is one of those games where it's like, I want to tell people like, oh, a side scroller game, Fist, Forge and,
really
and Shadow Tower.
It's
It
really
is
good.
that good, man.
It's really good. I don't know if Eric and Nick have played it, but if you guys
I
are
have
into
not.
if you guys are into Metroidvania games, it's a really well made game.
Yeah,
so-
it's high on my priority list, but I'm trying to catch up.
Right.
To everything.
I know,
Right.
bro.
But it is
I know.
absolutely a game that I want to play, and it's sad to hear that. Like, it seems like people are kind of ignoring it, because it
Yeah.
looks phenomenal. So
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's made by the indie initiative in China from Sony. Well, they are behind it, but the studio itself, I forgot the name of the studio that made it. So it didn't really have too much marketing, but I mean, still, it's always those kinds of games that end up sneaking up on you, and why I'm hoping Kana ends up being what we're expecting it to be, because it's been radio silence. But yeah,
Yeah. Yes, Brain. Fist is so worth it, man.
Yeah.
Fist is worth it. For 30
Yeah,
bucks,
it
I'm
is.
15 hours in, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm hoping, like, to me, the way I'm feeling about Fist is that I'm hoping, I'm like, Metroid better fucking bring it. They better
Right.
bring it, man, because I'm like prepared to like make a comparison after I've played both games
Yeah.
for real. And I'll champion Fist. If it's better than Metroid, I'm going to be like, oh no. Like, hey guys, Fist is what it's about. But but that's it. What about you, Mo? What you been playing?
I'll let you know in a second, man. But Elo
right.
makes a good point here, because he said he's going to review Dread. I know he's going to review it for SG. So he doesn't
Yes,
want, Elo,
that's
honestly, I
true.
wouldn't do that, man. That's a
I
good,
thought about that.
yeah, you don't want to play them back to back, because I think you'll wear yourself out, and then you'll end up kind of
sure.
like having some sort of resentment for Metroid Dread, because it's also the same style. So yeah, no, that's a good idea. What have I been playing? Yeah, man, just Deathloop since it came out, like everybody else. Really enjoying that. We're gonna get into it in a second. Played some Fist. I finished The Artful Escape since the last show. If you guys have not played The Artful Escape, I really would recommend it. It's on Game Pass. It is an incredible 4 or 5 hour experience, depending on how fast you get through it. It's very, very, very low maintenance. You don't even have to do anything. You just either press the stick left or right, and you just freaking strum your guitar just by pressing X, and then it's like kind of Simon Says, but it's such a beautiful game, and it's so well made, and yeah, man, that game is really sticking with me. It's like one of my favorite games of the year, and I just I feel like it has no business being that good, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think that's it, man. Deathloop. So we're about to talk about Deathloop. What do you guys say, man? I know Eric hasn't started Deathloop, but I mean, you're welcome to, just chime in on how it looks, and like, hey, it's nice. I bought it.
I've shown my support.
Yes, you have, man. Absolutely, yes, you have. Oh yeah. So that's going to be the first topic of the day. Obviously, Deathloop comes out. We'll go on OpenCritic, and the average on OpenCritic is 88, with 93% critics recommended, and it got 9s, 10s, across the board, especially from the mainstream outlets, the big mainstream outlets. which is surprising even for like GameSpot, for instance, because they're very, very freaking frugal with their review scores. In terms of, if a game is like a 9, they'll give it a 6. If a game is a 6, they'll give it a 9. It's weird. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they gave that game a 10. IGN gave it a 10. And playing the game itself, I kept saying, there's so many people. It really, really makes sense when people say, remember before the game was coming out and a lot of people were like, what is this game? What is this game? What are you selling to us? What is this game that you're selling to us, right? The more you play this game and the more you discover it, the more you realize that I really do. That is the truth. I don't think they did such a great job marketing this game in terms of because Mike was just telling me before that. And Mike, you reminded me of that because we used to joke around about that all the time. We knew that it was an Arcane game. We knew Arcane is a special studio. They've always pumped out, always great, great games, but we just didn't know what it was that we were going to play. And I don't know if it's because of the style of the game itself and because they're so limited in their time in terms of what they can show us or what they can give us. But this is a very, very special game, and I don't think that they were able to convey that in their messaging when, in the marketing itself. They just couldn't, and that's the thing with Arcane's games though, right? And that's what they do. And I think that's why their games are underappreciated, not underrated, underappreciated. And that's why they never have commercial success because of the fact that because their games they really respect the intelligence of the players. They really, really respect the intelligence of the players. And I think that doesn't resonate with a lot of people, unfortunately. I don't think it does. And I think this is another one of those cases because this game is incredible. By the way, I'm telling you, Arcane, that's one of Xbox Game Studios' best acquisitions as part of the Bethesda deal. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'll get into the game, but because we have a big, we have a lot of people here. I want to start with you guys' experiences. I know everybody's frothing at the mouth to talk about this. Nick, I'm going to start with you, man. What do you think so far? Does your opinion fall in line with the scores themselves? At least, I'm assuming it probably does because I know you're loving it a lot. But what's your experience with it so far? How is it?
Well, without being that guy, obviously, I don't agree with 10 out of 10s ever, but that's a personal preference for how I choose to do reviews and everything else. But I would say that this is possibly one of the best games I've played so far this year. I don't even know how far into it I am. I've killed half a dozen visionaries, and I'm just having a blast doing it. And it's just looping around and getting killed by Juliana a bunch. And yeah, Arcane is such a unique studio in how they approach games and everything else, because so many, with some games, it's the gameplay that loops you in. Sometimes with games, it's the soundtrack that gets you in the door. Sometimes, it's all these different things that kind of get you there. But with Arcane Games is kind of what Irrational Games was back with BioShock, is that they build a world. This is a world you are taking part of. This isn't a game you're playing. This is a world that you are experiencing that, is completely different than the world you're in. The world of Prey could be possible within our technology and everything else, but it just feels like a world in itself. And there's so few games that can transport you like that. And I just think Deathloop's just another great example of them doing that. Just the level design in itself, the level that you're playing on the show there, the verticality of that level and all the different entrances you can find to get to different objectives and everything else. The level design's flawless. The freedom you have is so amazing. And I think that's when you talked about, Arcane games are so hard to market, it's because Arcane games play the way you want them to play. How I'm playing Deathloop isn't the same way how Mike's playing Deathloop, isn't the same way Jordan's playing Deathloop. I'm playing Deathloop like it's Doom 2016. I'm just running through. I'm like, oh hey, bang! Oh hey, bang! Oh hey, bang! And that's how I'm choosing to play it. But there's things that cater to that playstyle within the game that you can find.
Yes.
But if you want to go super sneaky and slowly stab everybody and do everything else, it gives you that option. It's that flexibility and just all around design where it's like, no matter who you are, you will find a way to play this game and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's without a doubt. Absolutely. You know what, too, man? As I was listening to you, I'm watching this footage, and I'm like, how the fuck did he find this area? I had no idea this existed.
Well, let me tell you, because it's my footage.
Yeah, I know. I know it's your footage. Because one of those slabs I've never seen before. I'm like, this has to be
that's too
Jordan's
funny.
footage.
That's
That's
funny,
awesome. Man. Yeah, you really hit a good point on that, too, Nick, just about building the world and playing it. And I actually mentioned that yesterday in a tweet that I put out. I said, Arcane is like a dad teaching their kid to ride a bike. You put on initially they put on the training wheels and then they take them off, right? And then after that, they're like, okay, ride the bike, do what you want. You can fall. You're not going to fall. However you want to tackle it, you can go ahead, right? And I think that itself is the reason why this game is played differently by everybody is because their games don't necessarily hold your hands, right? Like, I mean, they put a lot of stuff for you to internalize, right? Like, I mean, they give you all the tools and everything, and then they don't hold your hand through it. They're like, hey, man, this is what we're giving you. Work with it. And I think that itself is just respecting the player's intelligence, and you can see that, whether it's from Dishonored or I never finished Prey, and I didn't finish Dishonored 2, but Dishonored 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. But you can see that, from one to the next. And it's a damn shame why they don't get the commercial success that they do, and it's because of that. I really do think that. I'm not calling people dumb. I'm not saying people are dumb, but at the same time, I don't think the style fits everybody. I don't think this is for everybody. I think a lot of people just want to, play a game, A to Z, or even if it's open world or whatever it is, there's still like a specific path that you have to go on, and their games are just kind of like, nah, you don't necessarily have to. So that's something that it's either you appreciate it or you don't. It probably just doesn't fall in line with your with your style. But Eric, I know you haven't played it yet, but let me get your take on it, at least from everything that you've seen. And I hope we don't end up. Oh, by the way, there's not going to be any spoilers for you guys, in terms of like gameplay mechanics or whatever. So just a heads up. But Eric, what do you think, man? The more we talk about this, the more it's going to want to, make you leave Psychonauts or what, bro?
No, I've been waiting for Psychonauts 2 for so long, man. So I'm gonna finish that one up first. Actually, I've been waiting for both of these games because, like Nick knows, I'm an Arcane stan. Oh, yeah. So while I have not played Deathloop, everything that you guys are saying about Arcane and the way they develop games is not. It's familiar, and you're 100% right. And I think that's why their games. I'm not going to say hit or miss, and I'm like you said, I'm not going to call anybody a dummy. It's their style is not for everyone, especially if it's someone coming in thinking this is like a first-person shooter like Call of Duty or a first-person shooter like, Nick's saying he's playing it like Doom, but Nick is playing it like Doom within the realms of what Arcane does.
Yes.
They to me are a very special developer. Like they don't necessarily follow the cookie cutter path of kind of doing things. Like, yes, their game is a first-person shooter, but it is not a first-person shooter. And the way that you can tackle and attack things, they kind of give you, while it's linear in some of the approach of how the map can be laid out in most of their games, like from Dishonored to Prey, the way that you can attack things is up to you.
Yes.
And that's why Nick is saying from an Arcane game, the play style is determined by how you decide you want to go about it. If you want to be super stealthy, you can do that. You want to go in balls out and guns blazing, you can do that too. You want to do a mixture of both, have at it. You want to go all powers, do it. All guns, do it. And that's the thing that makes it so brilliant. And that's why, like, especially with Dishonored, I love that franchise because anytime you play through it again, you find something that you didn't even realize you could do.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know I could pull that off that way. And that's why I'm not surprised to kind of see the divide of what Deathloop is doing to some people. Whether you agree with some of the 10s that were thrown around by reviews or you're a person who's sort of like, oh, this is complete trash and I've only played 30 minutes of it. It's sort of like whatever. But those who get it, you get it. And those who I know who are fans of Arcane or who kind of understand what it is, I'm not surprised to see their honesty and praise, but also their critique of some of the things that may have been missed. And those are kind of people. It's like being in a club almost, an arcane type club, you know. And so no, I can't wait to get my hands on it. But I'm not surprised by what you guys are saying, and that's just me talking without actually playing Deathloop. It seems like it has that arcane magic, so I can't wait.
No, it definitely does, man. Yeah, for sure. Game positive. You're saying shooting mechanics look very Wolfenstein to me. No, at least I don't think so. You know, Wolfenstein is just like, it's so. Not that this game isn't smooth to play, but Wolfenstein, just the shooting in Wolfenstein is just perfect. You know what I mean?
Now,
so
Wolfenstein is more along the lines of a first-person shooter.
Yes, exactly.
You know, that game wants you to be just a beast, just mow everything down. You know,
this is really like you guys were saying. This is a world with a first-person element,
right?
You know, and that includes shooting and whatever. Whereas like Wolfenstein is a first-person shooter. So yeah, that's exactly how that was a good point. And my fucking son, Jordan, Dashing Debonair, baby. I know you got a lot to say about this game, man. I've been waiting. I saw some of your thoughts this morning on SG, and I really want to see what you think, man. You know, because you're kind of like you're one of my go-tos for any questions that I have.
Sure, man.
Fire away, man. I know you've been really looking forward to this one too.
I really have, and Nick and Eric, you guys both made a lot of great points, and you kind of set the stage for a lot of what I was going to lead into already. So I appreciate that, and you guys have great taste. So we'll say that. Arcane games are just something truly special. So kind of to lead into what Mo initially said in the beginning. No, it was hard to market this game. Like I will admit, the first time that I saw the very first announcement trailer for this, I was like, multiplayer shooter. What is Arcane doing? But I do honestly feel that first deep dive that they gave us a couple weeks ago did kind of summarize, what to kind of expect in this game. It's still hard to encapsulate the degree of freedom that you have with how to approach all these scenarios. But again, everything is, and any play style is really ultimately viable in this game, which is one of its strengths. I do think that it's kind of their blessing and their curse that they approach game design in this way.
Yes.
Yes, it's very, very intelligent. But at the same time, I would say that this title out of their whole library of games, this is definitely their most accessible one, even though it has this whole time mechanic thing that can be somewhat confusing. The fact that you have free reign to use all these powers, you don't have to worry about a consumable to exercise those powers. You can die, but you get right back into the action so quickly, especially with the nature of the whole, die, respawn, and do it all over again. The one thing I will say about it that I'm a little bit underwhelmed with after playing several hours of it is the invasion mode, and that's mostly just because of the network. It's P2P servers, so you can be aiming at either Colt or Juliana, and you're just not getting any sort of hit detection.
Okay.
And it's very frustrating because I'm like, I'm nailing this person. Why are they not going down? And then all of a sudden they just backstab me and you're done.
Yeah.
The idea is really cool though. When it does work, it's incredibly intense whenever she invades your world. But like Nick was saying, if you wanted to slow the rate of invasion down, you could turn it to single player or even to friends only mode. I was trying to invade you and Dash, but it was not connecting. I don't know why.
I had it off anay. I wasn't gonna. I was not gonna.
I know you had it off for a bit.
Trying to come in and fuck up my day. I was not gonna let it.
No. But the game really it does need to be experienced by more people because our Arcane is one of those studios where again we don't realize how good we have it. So is it just the fact that the majority of gamers or people that play games, that they're just content with, I don't want to say like run of the mill because not everything is run of the mill, but our annual franchises and our typical shooters and corridor shooters, open world games. But these guys, like I said, they take all of those things and they put their essence into it and make it something that's wholly unique each time.
Yes.
I guess long story short, just like you and Nick, Eric, I'm an Arcane stan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, man.
Good, you're in good company, man.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Good
is,
company.
man. Yeah, absolutely. I know Ains in here too. Ains is a big Arcane stan as well,
Yes.
so loves Prey and pretty
Yep.
much everything else that they've pumped out. So
Yeah,
Praise
it
so
always
good.
broke my heart, man. Like when you just heard like those game sales were never
I
really
know.
that great. And I think like,
know.
how can you
You know,
like sleep on like Dishonored 2 and Death of the Insider and like Prey and all these games,
I know.
man? It's like, come on.
Sucks,
Unless it's like acquisition talk, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh my god,
That's
it's gonna be so awesome." I'm like, they were awesome before.
they always were.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. They
Yeah.
always were. Yeah, that's the thing too, man. It's again, you know, like I'm telling you, like I mean, I think a lot of people just don't know how amazing it was to have them included in that entire, you know, Bethesda deal. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a very special studio. I know everybody, you know, Jizz is about, you know, Bethesda Softworks and fucking Tango Gameworks and whatever, but no, man, this is the real deal right here. This is one of them. So,
Yeah,
you know,
Nick will tell you. I'm sorry,
but that's the thing, and that kind of goes in line with what we were saying earlier. That's why, like, I mean, yeah, if you've heard of Arcane, you're going to say, you know, especially if you're like one of those cucky nut writers, you know, you're just going to be like, oh yeah, Arcane, yeah, you know, even though you've never played their games. But this goes more in line with what we were saying because of the fact that their games are underappreciated. You may have heard of Dishonored. You've probably never played Dishonored, but you've heard that it was good. So because it's a good game made by a good studio, that's enough for you to cheer, right? And that's why just it's more of on the underrated side, or at least they're more on the underrated side or underappreciated. I'm sorry. They are on the underappreciated side of, at least I feel, my opinion, of the whole Bethesda deal, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is, yeah.
And my feeling on that too was like when the whole acquisition thing went down, I wasn't excited in terms of, okay, well, you know, now it's like that adds to the Xbox studios, whatever. I was like, okay, so Arcane, like, without having to necessarily worry about how to market the game, how to like, or how not just say how to market it, but fund it, or you know, if it's going to be like, you just kind of go and do what they do. What is that going to look like? And Arcane not worried about, okay, do we have to pull this away, pull that away? Are people going to get it? Is it going to sell? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? Just let those guys do what they do. Let them go cook.
Yeah,
You know, that's going to be awesome.
let them cook.
Yeah, definitely, man. Absolutely. It's yeah, let them cook, bro. And that's the thing, you know, I mean, that's one of the good things too. It's you know, a lot of people say, Mike, I'm gonna get to you in a second. I know you got something to say as well. A lot of people say like, hey, look, this is great that they're, you know, that they're under, you know, the Xbox umbrella now because they can, you know, stay creative and, you know, unlimited money and whatever, but they were still under the Bethesda umbrella before Xbox, and they always were creative. The creativity is not going to disappear. If anything, it's just going to get better. You know what I mean? But the studio's always been like that. They've had 5 games in less than a decade, and only one of them is a sequel. Every single actually, they will have. Redfall will be the 5th game they have in under a decade. That is not, you know, and 4 of these 5 are not sequels. Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey, Deathloop, and Redfall. That's amazing. That's amazing, right? Like, I mean, we keep talking about new IPs and originality and whatever, and here comes Arcane. They're fucking smacking you in the face with these new IPs and originality, but we want to keep buying Call of Duty every year, and we want to, you know, like, I mean, you're not nitpicking Call of Duty every year. You're not nitpicking all these sequels every year, but you're nitpicking this?
Yeah.
And to actually add to your point there about productivity, they also did Death of the Outsider, which was another Dishonored game, and they also did Wolfenstein Youngblood in cooperation with Machine Games.
Cooperation.
That's true, they did.
I'd like to forget that game didn't even exist.
Same.
But yes. But yes, Death of the Outsider. So that's 6. Thank you. There you go. So that's 6. Yeah, Death of the Outsider, yeah, it does count as its own game, definitely. But yeah, anyway. Just bullshit, man. Mike, I know you're buying the game, or did you buy it today?
I haven't bought it yet. I actually went to Best Buy and they didn't even have that game.
Yeah,
So
they should have had this
I don't know what's going on with that
gun.
store, but holy shit, they look like they are like they got boxes everywhere. They look like they're going out of business.
Yeah.
All right, so Deathloop, I was trying for days. I was trying ever since it came out. I was watching Twitch streams and stuff like that while I was like playing Fist or whatever. And every time I looked over, it just looked so boring. But then me and Jordan got together. He share played from his PlayStation 5 to my PS4. That's possible, which I thought was cool or whatever. So he would play and I could see it on my screen. And this is how we got the footage or whatever. I don't know. To me, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Kind of moment or whatever, which was fun and cool. But the more we went down it, like the more Jordan held my hand down this little Deathloop park or whatever, I was like, holy shit, they don't show this in the trailer or even explain how it goes. Like, of course, every step of the way, pretty much I was like asking Jordan, like, okay, what is this? What is that? How does this work? You know, like just little things just to understand the game, because I want to know if I want to get it, because Kenna and all this other stuff. I'm trying to figure out my PlayStation 5 setup, however that's going to go.
Sure.
But anyways, Jordan getting into this and just describing more about it, and because I had a little bit of time, a decent amount of time with Hades, I am like, yo, this rogue like is really getting to me. I like what it has to bring, and I like the style. Arcane, I like totally forgot that they did Dishonored and what studio it was actually. I played a lot of Dishonored, probably got halfway through the game, and I was like, oh my God, it's just so fucking hard. Like, I can't even beat it, you know? And then I saw that one video, and hopefully all y'all have seen it, where the dude like catches the severed head, and then he like throws it up in the air, and then he like hits the dude in the head, teleports above him, the severed head hits the other enemy, and it's like flawless ninja like gameplay. Anyways, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, that's why Dishonored is such a unique game, because it gives you tools, but the way you use them, you can do anything. If the game has a little roof that you can teleport on, even if it's not very obvious to you, like, you could still do that, you know what I mean? Or a ledge that's not really made to stand on, like, you can get that, you know what I mean? And they just kind of casualize what Dishonored is, and then threw it into an arcade-like Deathloop-like scenario or whatever. So Deathloop's path is basically a spiral. You know what I mean? Like, the learning curve it has, how to discover things, and like, the more you experiment, the more knowledge that you're going to have on how you want to tackle it. So basically, what, from my understanding, is the first half of the game is kind of whatever you do, you're doing it right. You know, and as long as you can retain that knowledge and understand your maps and what happens during like the time of day, like, it really sets up for a lot of interconnected gameplay events that happen. Jordan was telling me we didn't really like establish an event or whatever, but I know we did do what he was talking about, where we got all these people, like, kind of this one person into a spot. I didn't know that was happening at the time, but now that I do know, I'm like, wow, that was fucking impressive, Mr. Jordan, you know, kind of thing, because he read the lore, because like he stopped, he really read into it and was like, okay, so at this time, at this day, they all converge because they have a meeting or whatever, because you did that detective work yourself. Like, that to me gets, like, rocks my socks off. That's the kind of game I like, that interactivity. And on top of, and just to finish it up, on top of, I just love the whole sit back, perch up, like a, you know, like a assassin or whatever it is, and just kind of like figure out, like, just kind of wait as the game is like giving you little subtle cues and like characters or NPCs talking about things you like pick up on, and then they like walk away and you're like, okay, and you're just like, you know, a little fly on the wall trying to figure out how to kill everybody, you know, which is awesome. I love that kind of stuff. That's very Metal Gear, Phantom Pain or whatever. But dude, they need to say something on this. Somebody should say something about this. Speaking of which, I think Jordan had something to say about it. Stand by tomorrow. We're going to release like a little Deathloop video, so you guys get like a little bit more grasp of actually what it is. So But anyways, Deathloop is Deathloop is very unique by a very unique studio for sure.
Game Positive here is asking, the Council of Arcane stands what he should play first. And no, Game Positive, I'm not saying you're a jackass. I didn't
like
say
it.
the concepts are hard. I was just saying that Dishonored is just a little more, it's more approachable. It's since this is your first time diving into their games, that's what I meant. I said, like, it's more approachable, and it's fucking cool to play as
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know Jordan's like, Jordan's like the freaking FPS god, man. Like, I mean, of course he's gonna tell you, of course he's gonna pick of course he's gonna pick Prey, the one with the harder concepts to grasp.
This dude gets
But
blasted.
I think Dishonored for like the same reasons if someone's coming into it, because
That's
I
fair.
think playing Dishonored kind of just gives you an idea of what Arcane is thinking, like their thought processes, and then when you get to Prey, it's all Arcane.
Sure.
It's just a different type of vibe, but I think Dishonored is, like you said, more approachable just to kind of see the brilliance of what they're doing, and then Prey just kind of drops you off, and it's like just go into this sensory deprivation game,
Sure.
because it's because you immerse yourself in that world, and you come out, you're like, whoa, that was like different, and it plays like differently. Like I think Dishonored has more of like I don't know how you say it. It feels more like an action movie where
Yes.
Prey it feels more like I don't know, like what
Dishonored has an easier point A and point B.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
Both are great. Both are brilliant.
Yeah.
But
That's
for
not
very
taking
different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and definitely here saying it's rough on PS5. Yeah, it's not enhanced. So, but Game Positive is going to play it on the Xbox anyway. So I think he's good on that.
It feels terrible. The fact that the one Arcane fact that will always kill me is the fact that Valve canceled the Half-Life game that they were developing due to the success of Left 4 Dead. They'll forever haunt my soul and be the fact we could have had a Half-Life game from
That would
Arcane.
have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I know Kevin too, man. Kevin's a big Half-Life fan. He would have been fucking
true.
ecstatic about that.
That's true. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we have
definitely.
gotten their other brilliance.
That's what I was
Yes,
going to say.
we have.
We've gotten a lot of fresh ideas from them.
Yeah, we have for sure. What I'll say is just from my end, I know I got all of you guys. So it took me so I was playing it, because my play style is very slow. So even like the intro section, which is really the intro mission, it's called The Longest Day. It shouldn't take you more than what, Jordan, like an hour?
Yes.
Like an hour. So it took me like 5.5 hours or something like that, just because of the way that I had 5 hours of playtime and I wasn't done with The Longest Day yet. So once I finally listened to him and Ains, because they kept telling me, they're like, dude, whatever you do right now is not going to matter. Just get to those orange diamonds, get this mission over with, let the game open up. So of course I'm like, yeah, of course, sure, and here I am just like trying to freaking just find the craziest shit, even though I'm like, oh, this is locked. Oh, I can't get here. I didn't learn my lesson. So I finally did. But I tweeted about this the other day and I said, if you think you understand the game just from the intro section, you don't. Because once everything starts to open up and all these menus and customization and options and the freedom that they give you and the explanations between the times of the day and the maps and the visionaries and everything else, it's incredible how much opens up after you finish that. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you haven't played it, the same thing that they told me, finish The Longest Day, because you think you know the game, you don't know the game until that opens up. And yeah, so again, we've talked about all this, concepts, mechanics, all the stuff that they give you at your disposal between Arcane and whatnot. I really want to give a shout out to the voice actors, because the actors who play Colt and Juliana are fucking phenomenal. They're unbelievable how good they are, especially Colt too, because obviously we play as him more, during the single player campaign, so we're more familiar with him. But him and Juliana's banter itself, and by the way, Juliana owns my heart. She's so hot. I love her. Anyway, but just his delivery. His line delivery is amazing. He brings so much character and personality to this character. To this character, it's amazing how he says it. Even like when you first start the game, like, did we date? And then she beats the shit out of him. He's like, oh, yep, we dated.
Yeah,
just little tiny things like that just really, really bring these characters to life, man. And whoever I had never heard of. I just followed him on Twitter too. I didn't even know about him. Dude. He had like Ains was telling us about him. He was, he had like, this is like a little not a very well known voice actor. He had like 500 followers on Twitter. I'm like, oh, well, this guy's about to blow up right now.
It's still the case. Yeah, it's Jason Kelly, and he has 690 followers now. So he's only gained like almost 200. I know, right?
Oh my God, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah, his voice work is freaking something special, and this kind of reminds me of like, the idea of trying to put a story into a roguelike game, like how Hades pulled off there. Like you have this whole time loop Groundhog Day thing going on, but yeah, it's super compelling. I love, there's a line where he says when you go to end the night, he's like, what am I supposed to do now? Am I going to go to sleep? Is Juliana in my dreams? I hope. So funny.
The intro was so good too, where he's like reading the letters and he's like, "What is this?"
What is this?
The self-awareness is just incredible.
It's amazing. I'm telling you, it's so good too. Because it's nice to get that. It's nice to get the a different type of personality that's just not some fucking cut and dry, first person shooter freaking personality that we're so used to. It's awesome. Let's be honest with each other. We're all fans of BioShock, right? BioShock Infinite, whatever it is. But like, come on, man. It's not, me personally, BioShock Infinite is my favorite, right? But it's not, what's his name? God damn it. What's wrong with me? Main character. Give me his name.
Booker DeWitt.
It's not Booker. Booker's not the main reason why I remember the game. What happened to him is cool, but it's Elizabeth. It's Comstock. It's everything else. It's the world that surrounds it. It's not really, I don't sit there and say like, oh yeah, Booker was a great fucking protagonist. He really brought a lot of life to that freaking character. He really didn't. So it's nice to see this. It's great, to actually the way that they did it, and just more props to them and to Arcane. And I hope both of these voice actors blow up because they deserve it, definitely. And my son here, Dash, he'd also say, he's like, where is it? He's like, I'd let Juliana ruin my life too. That's why I love you, Dash. Yeah, man. That's why you and I see eye to eye.
Speaking facts. Nothing but facts.
He's speaking nothing but facts, man. Definitely. But yeah, if you haven't played Deathloop, play Deathloop. And if you want to wait till next year, that's fine. But
yeah, it's fine too.
I don't think you should, but okay.
You're gonna miss the boat, though. You're gonna miss the boat.
You're gonna miss the boat. You're gonna miss the boat. Okay, so that's it for Deathloop. Next thing I wanted to mention, Mike, I really added this because of you, because we were talking about Wolverine. So Marvel's Wolverine, apparently it's going to be a mature, full-size game, which we knew. And when they say full-size, because there was a lot of comparisons between obviously Spider-Man's length and Miles Morales' length, because Miles Morales was like an offshoot of Spider-Man, like the game itself, the story itself, even though a lot of people considered it to be the superior game. This one, they're calling it a full-size game because it seems to be like a full-size game like Spider-Man. And according to the creative director, he said so the way that they're wording it is they're saying like it's, the mainstream sites, they're saying it's a mature, game. But he said that it's going to have mature tone. It will be full-size mature tone. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but it's good at least that it's something that he's confirming on his end, because a lot of people were saying like, Spider-Man is a family-friendly game. Spider-Man is a game that you can buy for your kids, but how are they going to market this game? This is a Wolverine game, so you also have to factor in the hardcore Wolverine crowd, right? Like the Marvel crowd, the ones that know, the true Wolverine fans, like Mike. So you also have to satisfy them. So what do you want to do? Do you want to give them a family-friendly Wolverine game? Eric, you just you put up the PS3 game from what was it called? The Wolverine game?
X-Men Origins. Wolverine.
Yes. So you just put that up too, and that one was, I didn't play the original one, but that one had a lot of brutality, and Mike, you were telling us about that as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be in the realm of, fucking guts and blood everywhere. I don't think that Insomniac will get that taste, that distasteful, but it's good at least that there's some type of confirmation for it. When you say mature tone, I don't think it's just like a one-dimensional thing where you're just like, oh, this is going to be violent. You know, like, I mean, when they say mature tones, I think it's the whole game itself. The story, the characters, add in the freaking, you know, add in the combat and whatnot. But Mike, I wanted to jump to you first because what's your, does this give you more confidence in terms of like how they're going to approach this game? Ooh,
More confident. Yeah, more confident. I wasn't expecting a more confidence thing because whenever I read that like full size mature tone said from Brian Horton, which is the creative director at Insom. Sorry, I had to say it like that because they say it funny on the PlayStation Showcase. Anyways, I was like, "You fucking write it better, B." That was my first reaction. I was like. I was a little scared because, all right, so whenever you see the trailer and he pops his claws, I was literally in my head, I was like, I better see skin kind of like tear off of it. You don't really see that exactly, but it is like cutting through his skin. But because I didn't see the little tear, because I mean, if you really think about it, every time he'd pull his claws, he'd be bleeding by the knuckles, okay? Because it was such a clean snicked, I was like, all right. Now, when I think about it, man, I'm just thinking, yeah, like the moment I saw the opening cutscene to X-Men Origins Wolverine, dude, he gets half his face blown off by a shotgun and you see it all heal back. You see the metal skull and it all heals back. He holds a dude in the air and he's just gutting him as the blood falls on it. Shows it all, bro. He cuts him in half and then their limbs off and it's a CGI scene.
Yeah.
Top dollar stuff, baby.
Blur Studio.
Yeah.
Those guys, they did the Halo 2.
Yes, they did.
I'm sorry, Halo Wars. I'm sorry, cutscenes.
Oh.
Stuff, so.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
really?
phenomenal.
Okay, interesting. And I remember witnessing these scenes, and I was like, "That's Wolverine, baby." He picks in the game. You do it's Kratos, but it's Wolverine. He picks the dudes up. He blenders his head in the chopper blades and he throws them on. It's sick, bro. Yeah, it'll like rip them in half and stuff like Dante from Dante's Inferno. It's very awesome. Now, will they go that far? I'll take a ripped in half body, no entrails, a little bit of blood splash. If I don't get at least that, I will kind of be questioning like, you know, my main weapons are 2-foot claws here, people. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I don't want to see any revisited assets from Spider-Man. Let me throw something at you guys real quick. The writer from Spec Ops is writing this game. Do you guys know about Spec Ops? I heard it was like, it's either Spec Ops or Black or whatever that was with all the rounds. I think it's a military game that was very controversial in a sense, where it's like a bunch of...
line.
Okay, the line. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Spec Ops the line, yeah.
Right. The story is very hardcore because like a bunch of bodies get burned. Like it's a bunch of civilian type of storyline. You know what I mean? And the soldiers are like, no, like fuck them. And it's like one of those moments. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's cool. I want to look into that guy a little bit more though. Also, John Sweeney, he is the art director and he is was the art director for Naughty Dog for The Last of Us 2. I mean, are we going to get like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, remember when you shoot one of the enemies, like, anywhere, basically? And that shit looks like, you know, Red Dead Redemption did a good job of that, too. But, I mean, is that what we're going for? Rated M, where it's like when he cuts a dude's arm off, you're going to get 3 little slabs? Are we talking Raiden? You know, the cut and take type of mechanic?
Yeah. Gosh.
What? Are we talking destructible environments? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's too early for all that. But
that's a bunch of other shit. But
that's just
How mature though are we talking about? Give me a full blown mature. Like give me adult.
I don't think they'll do M.
I don't. So if you go onto the website and try to log in, you have to enter your birth date.
Sure, but I hope so, man. I don't know.
So that means you got to be 18 to enter, which could mean rated M.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I'm just saying, like, from a marketing perspective, like, I mean, how do you market a violent? I mean, honestly, bro.
Yeah, but then when you sell a violent character, when you see Logan do numbers like that, and you sell it as kids, like as Kitty, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Nah,
you know, Spider-Man's not cutting people up. Like, I get that or whatever, you know, but
But you still got parents buying freaking Call of Duty and
Yes,
Exactly.
Doom and
Grand
all these
Theft
other
Auto.
games for their kids. So honestly, it doesn't fucking matter, even if it's
Right.
mature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget that. Nick, what do you think? You think it's what's your take on it? Like, do you think it's gonna be mature, or do you think that'll limit its marketability?
The whole marketability of an M-rated game is it's an interesting thing. Like, yes, obviously your buying market is going to be naturally smaller because kids aren't going to buy it. But like, what would be the lose out if you decide to do a middle row T-rated Wolverine game? Well, you're going to lose all the people like Mike who are there for the blood, the guts, the gore.
Right.
And you're going to lose, and the kids are going to be like, well, it just plays like Spider-Man, so I'll go play Spider-Man. I'm interested in it because I love Insomniac games, but I've never seen them do something that I would call a mature and dark story. Like Spider-Man had its moments, but it felt like a Spider-Man film. Ultimately, they haven't done anything really gritty, as I would call it. So I'm kind of interested to see them tackle that, especially since the two leads on it are the leads from Spider-Man Miles Morales, which kind of makes me feel better about it because those guys really understood, how to bring Miles to a video game. So I'm kind of hoping they're going to use that same kind of magic and bring Wolverine to, our video game pads or however you want to phrase that. But ultimately, I'm just on the fence of watching it because, as many people know, I am not a huge Marvel guy by any stretch of the imagination. And everyone's like frothing at the mouth at the idea of a bunch of PlayStation studios doing Marvel games. And I'm like, oh, please, God, don't make this be the future. Please don't make this be the future. I had to suffer through films. Don't make me suffer through all the games, please.
Right.
No.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair, Nick.
No, I would rather have I would rather have it just dedicated to a studio like Insomniac, who just seems like they know what they're doing in terms of how to tackle these projects and why they've gotten the confidence of not only Sony but Marvel themselves, to deal with this. I don't think because Leo was mentioning here, he was saying how would they do it, or I don't want to turn this into a full on Wolverine conversation, but in terms of like how they're going to do it, I think it's not going to be, I doubt this is going to be Spider-Man, but Wolverine with a Wolverine skin. No,
that would be disappointing.
I think they're very good and too clever to do something that like that. I mean, so I know we're just looking at it from the outside right now, but I mean, I think they're gonna really put their time into this, and assuming they don't already have like a playable build already, and this is just a announcement, so we'll see.
Who gives a fuck about Wolverine when Midnight Suns is releasing? Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good, man. Okay, so I was gonna get into the whole NVIDIA, data mining thing, but it's been talked to death, and it's really not very fucking fun to discuss. So, until something is at least solid from that, I'll, considering that NVIDIA just came out and they said like, oh, this is all speculative. This exists, but it's all speculative. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk about speculative shit. You know what I mean? So, the next thing is Dying Light 2. So Dying Light 2, which was supposed to be coming out the same day as Halo Infinite.
The freaking day before, right?
Or the day before, I'm sorry. Yeah, the day before. Or wait. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so Dying Light 2 ended up getting delayed to... I'm trying to find it over here. Yeah. So it got delayed to February. Fucking February.
Okay.
So February 4th, 2022.
Yeah.
That makes me
And
happy,
they said,
actually.
company's goal, transparency, we want to bring more polish, blah, 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 all this other crap. But I think this, we were actually debating, because once Halo did release once they did announce their release date, a lot of people were debating whether this was going to be something that Techland was going to do. Sure. Techland is, I mean, they're going to show, obviously the game will definitely improve even more, with the extra 5 months of polish that they're going to add for it. I think if they were, do you guys think that this had anything to do with the Halo launch? Be honest. Do you think this had anything to do? No, you don't think so? Okay. So you really do think that the game was just behind?
Historically, this game has gone through some issues. A lot of people didn't follow the biggest issue, which was about, I'm going to say about a year ago, the lead creative writer, Chris Avalon, was fired from Techland because he couldn't keep his pecker in his pants. So they fired him, but not only did Techland fire him, they retconned all his work. They said probably about 80% of their storyboards from his work, and said they did not want any association or having to put him on the credits. So they were basically about, as of like early, I would say like mid 2020, late 2020, they were in the process of rewriting that game.
That's wild.
Damn. They're like, cleanse this filth.
Think about all the man hours spent making something, and then they're like, nah, guys, back to the drawing board.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. So I think that has some things to do with it. This game's really, really incredibly ambitious, too.
It's true. It's true.
And it's coming to last generation consoles. And, not to bring up Cyberpunk, but after Cyberpunk, I don't think we need to see another Euro studio release a game that doesn't work on the base consoles it was originally supposed to be released on.
Polish.
I think that's part of the problem.
Another Polish studio, you mean?
Oh, wow.
Stop releasing on old consoles. It's not going to help you. At least it'll help with sales, but not with optics.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 months. Yeah. The extra 5 months of polish. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. The generic line is, we have a lot of shit to play. There's a lot of shit to play. But I mean, what else am I really going to add about that? Honestly, I mean, yeah, you are right about the development problems that they had, and there was all this talk about Techland freaking running out of money or being broke at some point. A couple of years ago. Which I don't know why or how, considering how successful the first game was and how they continued to support it throughout the years. I mean, they have a huge fan base for the first game. So I don't understand how that lined up in terms of like how they lost money or how they were almost broke. I mean, did they just pour everything into this game and then they fucked up and they had to just restart and they had to restart again, like you were saying? I don't know, man. I mean, they've had some great success with their initial outing. That's why I hope this game does great for them. I mean, shit, like you said, it's very ambitious, but I just hope that the last generation console, I hope the last gen doesn't end up being its downfall, because this is a huge world, a huge open world. So we know those are riddled with bugs.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Touche, for sure.
How many delays is there for them now on this game?
Oof. I have
How many delays? Ooh.
Yeah.
4 officially. This was supposed to originally release, I think, in late 2019, early 2020.
That's
originally.
Amazing.
Wow.
Long enough ago to where I remember it was months ago where I started saying like, yo, where's Dying Light? And then they started talking about it more and I was just like, okay, so whatever. It's there. It's always been there, but it's never done any movement.
Yeah, to
That's
Mike's
amazing.
point, actually, I remember because basically someone wrote an article being like, where's Dying Light 2? Is it in development hell? And then Techland, like 3 days later, came out and was like, no.
Yes.
The game exists. It's great. It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Everything's
Oh, shit. They were fighting that press word, huh?
No, yes, I remember that because everybody's like, oh, Xbox is going to come in and they should buy them, and Techland just comes on. They're like, hey, we're still making the game. We're good, guys.
Shit.
We're good. Here's an update. And then here's another update in 3 days or 4 days or whatever it was.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was funny actually. Just to actually, yeah, you know what? That's a good point, man. He said Resistance was rated M, and I don't think they'll be afraid to push the limits. This is obviously in reference to the previous topic
Wolverine,
that we were talking about. So
Yeah.
definitely. Jordan, you got anything on this? On this, are you surprised or you're not? Do you care?
I'm not. I will just say I do enjoy Techland's work with Dead Island and Dying Light, especially. I'm perfectly content with them moving this back a bit because it just means more time for Halo. Because let's be honest, I don't think any of us are going to be playing this once Halo comes out.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
we know
that'll
that.
at least give them a wide berth to at least soak up maybe some spotlight because February is crowded.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, Jordan, you looked that far ahead already?
I
I haven't gotten past Halo.
Everything is delayed to February.
Yeah, I'm only going to mention that because on Bigcast this morning, Ains read off a whole list of there's like I think there's like 8 AAA games coming out just in the first 3 months of the year.
That's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of games.
I feel like I might need to spend my time on the internet making other people's lives hell. A lot of games coming out. Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, here's Wild Boy again, hoping that another game has a hot coffee mod. Wild Boy, you never fail to amaze me with your hot coffee mods, man. I hope one of these days somebody fulfills this kinky wish of yours.
He's keeping the dream alive.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. Eric, you got anything to add on Dying Light being delayed?
No, I laugh every time. I mean, I not laugh. I'm not laughing.
You can laugh. You can laugh.
I laugh because I'm always like, oh, this gives me more time to actually start playing Dying Light 1. And every time I don't.
Yeah.
I never do. I never start it. I never do anything. And then he'll tell you again. I'm like, okay, now it gives you more time to start Dying Light 1. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
February I'll roll around and I'm like, here it is. I'm like, I still haven't played Dying Light 1. It's in my backlog. It's been in my backlog forever.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I would
surprised because it's like they're like the delay kings on this game. So but I tell you what, man, all these delays, if this thing doesn't come out like polished and just perfect, and there should be no day one major patch, any of that stuff.
Yeah, for real.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Jordan said, February is like jam packed, so
it's crazy.
It could get swallowed up. So
jeez.
Don't
It's
worry,
crazy.
those games will get delayed again in February.
Yeah, they will. No, they will. Yeah, there's no way they're all going to release within that close to each other. It's
Yeah,
just
didn't we have a scenario like this like a couple of years ago where all these games like were about to hit like February? We're like, who's gonna move first? Because I don't think anyone's realizing that they're all landing at the same time within the same week. I'm trying to remember what games those were though.
See, I work in project, like basically like utility projects. And let me tell you, we have a pushback date where we set all our projects. We're like, oh, this project isn't realistic, so it'll be ready on this date. And then eventually, like 3 months later, we all sit down. We're like, oh, we put 14 projects on deadline for the same day. Move it, change it. That's going to happen here too.
Oh yeah.
Like all these publishers are going to go, hey, we've got 9 games releasing in 7 days. I think we might have a problem here.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I do remember though. This was almost the same scenario where we had like all these major titles dropping in the same month, and it was like who's playing chicken? Like who's getting out of the way of who? Because this one looks bigger than this one, so we'll see.
I want to know how mad someone at Techland was. Is they've got an Xbox marketing deal, and Xbox just drops Halo the day after they release. They had to be sitting there going, "Guys, really? That's our release."
Yeah, it's like that too. Xbox has the marketing for Dying Light too, don't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
anyway.
so,
they did the E3 unveil.
I thought a slap in the
How fast was that
face.
email being typed up?
Oh shit!
So
guys,
obviously,
sorry.
someone said, "Hey guys, you're dropping the same time we are." It's like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna have to do that." So you may want to move.
That's rough, bro. That is rough.
Yeah.
A big slap in the face.
They don't want to take on Chief, huh?
No,
Right. Don't blame them.
nobody does.
No.
No one. Okay. No, nobody's okay. Well, let me ask you for Battlefield 2042 before we talk about this delay. Did you guys play? And this is for Nick and Eric. Did you guys play the beta or the alpha or whatever the hell it was last month?
Oh, for what? What was that?
Oh, you did. Okay.
He nabbed.
Nick? What was your take on it?
Am I allowed to talk about this now?
It's NBA. It is
Yeah.
NBA technically.
Is it really? Oh
It is.
shit!
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay. Well,
I know.
it's still NDA.
As far as I know, they haven't changed any of that. Yeah, they're so like tight-lipped with those tests. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
It's
well,
crazy.
I'm not under NDA and I didn't
Thumbs up
play
or
it.
thumbs
But
down?
here's okay. So yeah, so Nick, let me.
Blink one.
After playing it, were you surprised that this game is getting delayed? That's an answerable question.
So
I'm not
I
asking
would-
you for
what
details.
I would say is if EA had made the decision due
I love
to
you, Ace.
feedback,
Go Nick. Go Nick.
that
sorry,
a
go ahead.
delay would be in their best interest to deliver their customers the best possible gameplay experience
All right.
possible.
What a
Okay.
nice answer.
What I can't say off the record is that they are doing a lot of testing with this game, and that does speaks volumes to the level of care they're trying to put into it. It's not that they don't care about the quality of this game, it's that they are struggling to deliver one of the most ambitious Battlefield projects they have while still working from home primarily, and that's the struggle that they're currently trying to deal with. Is they've never done a launch remotely.
Okay.
And that's why the game's most like what I would see the reason being that they would delay this game, because they know they have to, cross their T's, dot their
Sure.
I's with this one.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, okay, but the thing is to just to piggyback off that, and that's why I asked, because just from people who we know that have actually played the game and what they told us, at least in terms of the beta itself, they said the beta just had a lot of issues. And once they also said that, hey, we wouldn't be surprised if this ends up getting delayed. And it did get delayed, but then it only got delayed a month. And then if you talk to people who played the beta or who played that version, they'll tell you, like, what are they going to do in a month?
Sure.
Is a month enough, and then it's just giving people a lot of Cyberpunk vibes, because Cyberpunk got delayed 3 weeks, and CD Projekt Red's like, well, 3 weeks is more than enough to polish all of these freaking bugs. And so clearly that didn't work out, and when you're talking about this, where there's a billion different, possibilities in a game like this, because it just involves so much going on. There's so many moving parts in a game like this, in a world this big, and in terms of how ambitious it is and whatnot. That's why I was hoping at least you could shed some light, but obviously you can't.
I can a little bit with it, EA's obviously not watching my every move. They don't have a gun to the back of my head.
This, but I got 100 and freaking whatever, bro. Just go ahead, talk to me, baby, talk to me.
So the biggest struggles that Battlefield is going to have at launch, that I would say, not having played it or anything like that, is that server issues will be constant if it's anything like that people have experienced. And also the game is not nearly as fleshed out as people thought it would be for where it's supposed to be. I'm not saying it's it's not content complete. I'm just saying there's gameplay aspects that you would think would have been better executed in terms of what they've shown off so far. I definitely don't think it's going to be a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. I just think it's going to provide its own unique set of challenges, and I would caution people of dropping a lot of money right off the bat until we see more about it. Now, there is going to be open betas and stuff coming in October, so everyone can get to play it then, and then no one will be choked by NDA. So I encourage people to try the open betas before putting your money down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solid.
Yeah, and even the beta itself, the next one.
Nick.
So first we know the release date got pushed from October 22nd to November 19th. And then there was a beta that was supposed to start on September 22nd, which is in 3 days, but we know that ain't going to happen. And apparently that's been pushed as well. And I think they said it's going to get, I think it was pushed to the weekend after the Infinite flight, if I remember. So anyway, everything got delayed. But yeah, my take on this is, like you said, it's very ambitious. They're doing it from home. I don't know, in terms of everything that these guys have told me, it doesn't really invoke too much confidence, at least in terms of from what they saw in the beta or what they played in the beta, and how just a month or or even less than a month, how much that's going to do or how much polish that's going to bring.
Right.
So if they end up releasing it broken, just to get it out in time for the holidays, we've already been down that road before. So that I think that would really hurt DICE. But
Right.
I'd like to see what do you think, Jordan? I know you're look, man.
I
I know
agree.
you and I know we're fucking eye on the prize, man. We're
With the
looking at
battle,
Halo.
yeah,
But
Yes.
you played Battlefield too, so you
yeah,
know.
and I love Battlefield, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, they have a lot to prove with their launch, given their track records. I think I'm pretty sure most of us here played Battlefield 4 at launch, or at least tried to play it at launch, because that was a friggin' disaster. And then even 1 and 5 were kind of in a similar state. So yeah, I think they really have to put their best foot forward this time, or at least try to. One of the things that we had discussed on Bitcast this morning was that we don't know, giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? We don't know at what state or what how old that build was in that closed alpha, right? Was it months old or was it only weeks old? So maybe the illusion that we had made was maybe they're doing like what 343 is doing when they're in shutdown mode, where they're just focusing on trying to knock out a bunch of bugs over this next, what is it? I think it's 3.5 or 4 weeks, something like that, from the original launch date. So, I have confidence. Not necessarily, but I want them to succeed. Obviously, I think I don't think any of us want them to do bad. I mean, everyone wants Battlefield to come back in a big way, and this would be their chance to do that and hit the ground running, so to speak. And if it doesn't, then maybe pick it up at later on down the road, and when it's in a better state.
No, definitely, man. I know. Eric, what about you, man? Are you a Battlefield man?
No, not at all.
My man. He just kept it short and sweet. He's like, no.
Not at all. I mean, to each their own. Hey, if people like it, I love it. It's all good. But it's just never been like my thing. I never quite understand the hype around it. But I'm also not a Call of Duty person either. So
okay.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
there was either one of my vibe. I mean, I've played Call of Duty, but I've kind of gotten over it over the years. I'm like, it's the same shit like every year.
It's
Speaking-
it has, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Call of Duty, since we're
Yeah.
I mean, we're about to talk about the next one, but right now the Vanguard beta is out, and it's not really looking. So here, Wild Boy here said, I doubt it can be anything as bad as Vanguard's beta. On the Xbox side, it's having a lot of issues, and I know Bomber and Leo were playing it, and they just they weren't happy with it at all.
Yeah.
And then I tried a few matches on the PlayStation on the PS5. It ran pretty well. I mean, it looks good. I don't know what they're trying to do with that. I didn't really dive too much in terms of what they were trying to do, but what I can say is this is going to be the first time I don't buy a Call of Duty since the original Modern Warfare released. And that was, 2000?
You mean the remake?
No.
You haven't bought any Call of Duty since then?
I've bought every single Call of Duty since the original Modern Warfare.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this will be even Advanced Warfare.
I got you.
I bought,
I got
which I didn't really like. But I'm just saying, like I've never skipped a Call of Duty since then, and this will probably be the first. Actually, it will be. It's not probably. It will be. The beta didn't do anything for me. I didn't like last year's multiplayer. I tried it out. The campaign was cool. It was okay. They tried to do some different things with it, but this one just didn't really do much, in terms of like trying to convince me to come back, and I'm kind of like just over it, man. Or really, it's just the Halo effect too, man. Fucking Halo. God damn it. So.
All right, so educate me, Mo, because again, like I'm not the Call of Duty guy.
Tell me.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm seeing all these people saying Vanguard is terrible, and I look at it, I'm like, looks like the same Call of Duty shit to me. So what's going on?
No. So I think, look, it's not terrible, man. It's to me at least. Look, I don't like World War II. I'm really sick of the whole World War II vibe. Even Call of Duty World War II. When they announced World War II and they were like boots on the ground and all this shit, I'm like, why? I mean, there's a million other ways you could go with it. Like, why did you do that? And I understand people want, because people initially bitched about World War II, and then they started complaining about Modern Warfare, that they went way too far. Fucking, even like Call of Duty started doing even wall running and shit. And then
that
it
was
got
modern.
into
Which one was
exoskeletons.
that?
That was Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare. That was the last campaign I actually played. And I was like, all right, I think I'm done. Because I used to always pick it up and play the campaigns.
So there's actually, which one was the one that had Kit Harington in it? Jon Snow. Was that Advanced
Black
Warfare?
Ops or something?
No,
That was
I forgot which one.
That was Advanced Warfare.
That was Advanced Warfare. Okay, no, there was another one too from Sledgehammer. So that one, that Advanced Warfare one was actually, the campaign is really good. That campaign is actually good, believe it or not. It's
Is that
very,
the one
very.
with Kevin Spacey?
No,
No, that was
No.
I forget the name
that
of that
one is the one
It was
I'm talking about, or the other one. That one's like, I think the one that started introducing wall running, and then they kind of just went fucking.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kevin Spacey
Oh,
and
Infinite
Harrington were the same
Warfare.
ones.
Thank
Okay,
That's what I was saying.
Boy.
Infinite, yeah.
Thank
okay.
you.
See how they all
Thank you.
start running together?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Infinite Warfare actually had a good campaign. It had a decent campaign. It actually was pretty good. But in terms of like Vanguard, okay, so when they say it's bad, I think it's just because of the bugs and everything, just the performance and the bugs. A lot of bugs on the Xbox side. But in terms of like it being a shitty Call of Duty game compared to previous Call of Duty games, I'm not really buying that. I mean, what you're seeing is pretty much the same. It's reskinned. I mean, and this is coming from somebody who's been playing Call of Duty for a long time, just like a lot of people have. But I think I'm at that point right now where it just doesn't really fall into my everyday gaming anymore. I just don't care for it anymore, man. Especially now with Halo coming out. So it's not bad. It still controls like Call of Duty. It still feels like Call of Duty. It still shoots like Call of Duty. So and it's a beautiful game. What is it?
I will say it feels just like 2019's Modern Warfare. It's got the
same engine.
Yeah, it has the whole like tactical sprint where you run forward really quick, you hold the gun up, you have the same control scheme as far as obviously you have the same control scheme, but all the HUD elements and everything that I'm seeing are very similar to it, which is not a bad thing. Because like I said, those that love 2019 Modern Warfare are probably going to enjoy this game too, but I didn't enjoy it personally.
That's the thing. Modern Warfare, the reboot. It had some amazing things in it when they tried to recapture that cinematic stuff, that made the original Modern Warfare and even Modern Warfare 2 so damn good. Like the freaking house raid, that nighttime house raid where you're just slowly going up the stairs with the SWAT team. It was fucking incredible. More of that, bro. That's the shit that really hits, But I mean, then the game just started to feel monotonous again. But anyway. Leading into that, apparently next year's Call of Duty, since the new one isn't even out yet and people are already bitching about it, it's called Project Cortex, and what they're saying is it's going to be Modern Warfare 2, the second version of Modern Warfare 2, obviously the rebooted, and this one appears to be linked to a campaign focused on Colombian drug cartels. It's going to be a direct sequel to 2019's, and this is according to credited insider Tom Henderson from I forgot where the hell Tom Henderson was, but VGC also heard from its own sources as well as Eurogamer. So for all intents and purposes, it's probably going to be. I like this, and the reason why is because even though like we've seen Colombian drug cartels or drug cartels themselves and whatever, it's getting away from that same freaking shit that we've been seeing all the time, right? A decade ago we were shooting Muslims and Arabs, and now, and I'm a Muslim and an Arab, okay, so I can say that. And now they're shooting freaking Russians and Chinese, and it's like it's whatever is in the news. So now like this is something that's at least like trending in a different direction. It's a little bit nice. It's different. Like I mean, I'm sick of shooting Russians. I'm sick of shooting Arabs. Like, I mean, so I don't want to shoot anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's good at least, like, they're introducing new things. Like, I mean, something different, that doesn't feel, the same, I guess, if you want to say. So anyway, I just wanted to plug that in because apparently that's the next one. So if you're not excited for Vanguard, at least that might be something to be excited for, because I think Modern Warfare, the reboot, was probably the last time a lot of people were excited for the next Call of Duty. So hopefully this can do at least what Modern Warfare 2 did for the previous or the first run of Modern Warfare. Okay. Nick is going to be like, well, I heard from my sources that it's probably going to
this fucking guy.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit. Okay. Anyway, the next one. Okay, so Nintendo, they I wish Lady was here. She loves to bitch about Nintendo. Nobody loves them and hates them as much as Lady does. Anyway, so Nintendo finally added Bluetooth audio to the Nintendo Switch, and this was obviously a lot of people ripped them for it. Considering the fact that the hardware is now 4 years old, and they just now added Bluetooth audio capability to the Switch, which means that for the past 4 years, it's always had the capability of being compatible with Bluetooth audio. And then they just decided to flip the Switch. I have the launch night Switch. I still have it, right? So if that piece of shit has always been compatible with Bluetooth audio, why didn't they just flip it on from the beginning? It's just instead of just making us go through all this shit, right?
Yeah, right.
And then the other day I posted it. I'm like, what is it with this obsession, right? It's like, how they say Android comes out with, how they say Android just always introduces new concepts and then Apple takes them and kind of gives it its own spin, and they're kind of like, hey, look what we did,
Right.
And then everybody looks at Apple and they're like, oh my God, look at this, right? And then the Android people are like, well, that shit's always been there, right? They just kind of spun it and they did it in their own way. And this is kind of what it reminds me of, right? And it really... The other day I tweeted, I'm like, the more that the Switch does, the more impressive the PS Vita looks from fucking 10 years ago. My fucking son. That's right. You show that thing, man. Loud and proud,
baby. In the background back there. So
yes, sir. Absolutely. No, but honestly, man, it's amazing. Look how much tech the Vita had in it. It had an OLED screen, and all of a sudden, the third iteration of the Switch has an OLED, and people are like, ah! I'm like, bro,
yeah.
You're talking about Bluetooth audio now? This machine had it 8 years ago at launch or whatever it was.
Hey, remember, the new OLED Switch also introduced the groundbreaking new feature of having an Ethernet port.
Wow.
That's right.
Bro, stop,
Hold
man.
the phone. Say no more.
So much, man. My 38-year-old
guys.
So much. You gotta chill on me, bro.
Nintendo's it's 2021, guys. We got some hot shit for you.
Yeah.
All the things you love from 2003.
Oh, guess what we did?
Let's go.
Hold up. You mean wait? You mean I can plug my Nintendo Switch hardwired into the internet now and download my Nintendo Switch online free games of games I've never even heard of? Awesome! Look at Nintendo looking out for me.
What the fuck?
This shit's pictures like some old commercial. Hey kid, yeah, you want Bluetooth in your Switch? Go, guess
yes!
what?
I got an OLED.
Just send away 7 box tops from your favorite cereal.
Oh my god, dude, it's so freaking funny. It's so funny, but anyway, yeah, man. So the whole point, the only reason I wanted to talk about this is just because of how absurd it was. If you've clearly had the capability for the last 4 years, why did you decide to do it now? I mean, we have these consoles right now. Obviously, look, they future-proof them because they know that there's things that they're going to add later on, and they keep that capability there. So when it's time to activate them, they do it. You can't tell me that it's taken Nintendo 4 fucking years to figure out how to do Bluetooth-enabled audio. That's just ridiculous, bro. I mean, and no matter what we say, no matter what we do, we're keep buying their shit. I'm buying Metroid Dread. But it's just it's amazing.
But now you can hook your AirPods to it to play Metroid Dread.
I know. At least I don't have to use AirPods. That's true. You know what? The Xbox wireless headset works with the Switch now. Mm-hmm. You can actually pair it with the Switch, so that's awesome.
But why would you? Because if you want to chat with your friends, you might as well keep it on your Xbox.
You might as well, man. Yeah, absolutely.
No, Jordan, you text them, hey guys, I'm gonna be on my Switch.
You're right.
Pick up your phone when I call so we can chat.
Let me get my flip phone out. We're still in the early 2000s. Hold on.
Yeah, my Razer phone.
I can't wait till it's 2028 and Nintendo comes out with the Nintendo Switch 3, and they're like, "Hey guys, we know you've been asking for this. So we want to present with you. We now support Dolby Atmos on Nintendo Switch
3. Yeah.
Bro, unbelievable. That little thing.
And party chat.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That'll be the day, Eric. That'll be the day.
But it's only 2 people.
Yes.
2 people party chat.
That's right.
No more friend codes. You can have your own usernames, but it must contain at least 18 characters, a number, and multiple capitalizations.
Bro,
Yep,
Bro,
yep, and a special character.
I used to think BlackBerry's system was shitty whenever you had to add somebody. Remember the BlackBerry messaging system? Do you remember how fucking clunky that was where you wanted to add somebody's code? I thought that was bad, and Nintendo's like, hold my beer. Honestly, man, you know, and
and Mo, you know, the thing is, like, the debate for the longest was, is it a handheld or is it a console, right? And I was like, it's easy. It's a handheld, because the Wii U was a console because it actually had a username that it didn't do friend codes, right? So when they went to the Switch and it's back on the friend codes, I'm like, that is a 3DS feature. There you go. It's a handheld.
Oh, that's okay.
You know?
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it.
No, I mean, the thing is, too, is like it allows them to tackle both of those spaces by saving a ton of money, right? I mean, they're not going to, I mean, clearly, like, they've already, stopped production of the 3DS and 3D, whatever the fuck, you know, they used to make in terms of their Game Boys and whatnot. So they've kind of, like, shelved that. And then, and it's because of the fact that they've put all of their marbles into the Nintendo Switch, which does act as a handheld. And then there's also the console market, people like us who like to call it a console, the ones who actually prefer it. My Switch has been docked 99.9% of the time since I bought it on the night it launched, right? So people like me prefer to have it as a console. I mean, so they're kind of like tackling both, but by consolidating it into one. And that really saves them a ton of money, and it just saves them so much on overhead, and they're making so much money because of that, as we're seeing. Yeah. And that's why they're allowed to get away with so much shit.
I was gonna say, I don't know, like, if they had some sort of data somewhere, they were like, I wonder how many people are using our Switch and, you know, have headphones in it, or how many people, you know, want to use Bluetooth. Because I don't know, I just looked up, I didn't know, we've been using Bluetooth headphones since like the 2010s. So
it's crazy.
So like, what the hell?
Crazy.
They marched the media for their own
had it.
It's just I don't know. Like I said, for me, nothing against Nintendo, because they know their hustle. It's for me, it seems like it's like minimal effort with maximal returns. So and that's fine.
Yeah. And then, Jordan, you know what's going to happen? In a couple of years, they will announce Party Chat for the Switch, right? And then they will re-release the Pro Controller with the headphone jack and throw some Nintendo character on it, and everyone will all be like, this is bullshit, as you're at Best Buy,
bro.
Counting your money out. This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Here you go.
That's true. You will see that. So yeah, I don't know why the Nintendo gamer is so quick to just throw down so much money at them. I mean, yes, they have some good games, but I haven't seen a good game in a long time from them. The last time I bought a game on Switch was Hades last year, and I haven't played it since then. So I don't think I'm going to buy Metroid Dread anytime soon. I do want to play it, but
I don't like generalizing people too much, but primary Nintendo gamers, they're nostalgia sluts. Right. Is what I refer to them as. Is like it's like you slap Zelda, Mario, or anything onto it. They're like, look how great this is. I'm like, look, we're replaying Donkey Kong again for argument's sake. It's like, throw barrels, throw Trixie or Dixie or whatever the hell the other monkey's name called at her, and away we go. Like, I get it. Everyone has that one Nintendo franchise they're a sucker for. Like, I bought a whole Switch because I was like, Luigi's Mansion 3, let's go. That's the game. I need that.
That was mine too.
And then I played Breath of the Wild for half an hour and went, this is fucking terrible. Why did I buy money? Why did I spend money on this? And I traded it in for the like $70 I had to buy it for, because Nintendo games don't decrease in value.
They do.
And it's just wild to me. Like, I understand, like, everyone's like, oh, but you can play it on the go, and I'm like,
sure,
who cares? I don't understand having the time to play it on the go. Maybe it's because I have to drive to commute and everything else. Maybe if I took a train or if I had a Tesla to drive me to work, maybe I'd feel differently. But
here's the thing. Like, let's talk about the Twitter bubble for a minute and why people put so much. There's so much importance. People think the Twitter bubble is so important, and they're the voice of the gaming community. They're really not. It's a small fraction. We've established that, right? And you know why? You know why I can say that? Yeah, because you look at the public as a whole, and Nintendo is just over there doing their damn thing, selling, because their audience will go and get it. And it's not just nostalgia; it's people they rock with that. Parents understand it. It's easy. How give to my kid. We keep rocking, right?
For sure.
Right.
The reason I call the bullshit on the bubble is because everyone's going on about the upgrade path. What is the upgrade path? you know, it's $10 or is it free or is it this or is it that? But it only goes back and forth between Sony and Microsoft, right? I had a Wii U, most of those games on the Wii U. Nintendo's like, upgrade path. Yeah, upgrade path is $60 and you buy this shit over again. And that's how you play it. And no one, a handful of people threw that out there and bitched about it. But the bubble, why? Because the bubble doesn't really care about Nintendo like that.
Well,
it's about Sony and Microsoft. And the only time they care about Nintendo is when they want to say, look at you, Nintendo guys, you do this and this and this and this. But they still don't get the same hit.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, Eric, the reason why you don't see a social media outcry around Nintendo stuff is you have to be 14 years old to have a Twitter account. So.
Okay, that's totally fair.
But their audience is that because when I worked in the middle school and the kids, I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see. Like they would sit at lunch around the table playing Smash, you know? And I'm like, there you go. Right there, you know, Nintendo, they showed us that commercial. We're all laughing like, who's going to the basketball court to play? Who's going to the rooftop party? It's like every asshole in the world is sitting there like, you know, they're like, they know, you know, that's what it is. So,
no, it's true.
But I'm with Jordan, though. I mean, and Nick will tell you, like, I have the Nintendo nostalgia, but even I'm like, what game have you shown? I mean, Metroid Dread is coming, but the argument was the Switch is killing it because Nintendo's got all this first party and they're doing all this great stuff. And yeah, it was Switch ports, but those games are great. Correct. So they had the value. So you got it. But when they got Skyward Sword, I'm like, hold on, wait.
I know. Same.
Wait.
I'm catching on to something here.
It's like go into computer.hd update. $60. Yeah. Let's rock.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hold on.
And there is no upgrade path, like you said, bro.
Yeah.
No.
How many?
The only upgrade path I got from Nintendo was on the Wii U. I think there was an upgrade path for like $1 to like Metroid Prime or something like that.
What about Mario Kart?
Like the collection.
What about Mario Kart? Mario Kart 8?
$60.
That was a Wii U game.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just released it on the Switch and they called it Deluxe. And now it's sold like 25 million copies. It's ridiculous, bro.
They're like upgrade path.
You guys are fucking crying about a $10 upgrade path. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're all buying that fucking extra $60 and the 60 that you paid on the Wii U.
Not this guy.
Look, man, I'm not a big.
That was the first time they didn't do BC.
I don't like that. Look, I'm not a big fan of telling people to pay. You know,
it's your money.
Like you said, man. Yeah, like I mean, I don't like it. I don't like the whole. You know, hey, you bought the game, you need to pay $10. You know, I mean, it's certainly a better alternative than telling people to drop another $60. You know, like Nintendo was doing. But in the grand scheme of things, like I mean, when you compare it to this, it's shit. It's nothing, honestly. You know, I mean, so, and that's why, like, I think it's just that the whole outcry is nothing and why Nintendo continues to get away with murder. And I think it is because of the nostalgic thing that you said, Nick. Definitely. There's no other explanation for it.
And Nintendo's up there with like
standards that Xbox and PlayStation are held to are so enormously high. Yet for Nintendo, it's the complete opposite.
Well, look at it. Look at the Xbox E3 and then look at the PlayStation event. You'll see like blog posts and they're like, can PlayStation and Xbox keep up this pace? Do they have enough content to keep gamers happy? Nintendo does that like direct where they showed off a bunch of indies and they were like, "Oh, Metroid Dread, here you go." And you see all the blog posts. They're like, "Nintendo's gonna smash 2022,"
right?
And you're like,
I know.
Right? No, you know what killed me? You know what killed me is at E3 when people were like, "Oh my god, I love this. This is a good conversation." Do you guys remember the Nintendo's E3 show?
Yep.
All they did was show Breath of the Wild 2, and people were like, "Oh yeah, this was the best show, hands down." I'm like, "What the fuck did you guys watch? Are you kidding me?" They lost their minds when they saw Breath of the Wild 2, and I'm like, "Bro, so because you saw Breath of the Wild 2, automatically you elevated that show over Xbox's possible best conference they've ever had, their best showing ever." Breath of the Wild 2 was enough to elevate that shitty fucking conference over the Xbox conference? Are you kidding me right now? Are you people watching the same shit I am? It has to be nostalgia and nothing else, I'm telling you. Because Nintendo fans think Nintendo fans think Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. That's right, Nick.
They think Breath of the Wild, and I swear to God, they really think Breath of the Wild invented open world gameplay. It's amazing the way that they treat it. It's like, bro, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was in that same boat, and like I said, my nostalgia was like gone on that. But I was like, "Oh, what is it? Come on!" Because also it was like it was like, we know why you're here.
Yeah, here's Dash is saying it. Oh yeah, this was my favorite one. This was my favorite one. I'm sorry to cut you off, E.
No, go ahead.
That was it. Nintendo saved E3. I'm like, what are you talking about? My God, Nintendo saved E3. Oh yeah, and Microsoft's like, all right, well, we can just go fuck ourselves. We're sorry about this amazing showing that we just had, but yeah, sure. Nintendo saved the E3. Carry on, please.
It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. But I think why it happens that way is because you look at Chief, he's huge, right? And among certain circles, and Chief has sort of crossed into where the mystique, even if a kid has not played the game, it's just fucking cool. It's a Space Ranger, so that plays well with Halloween and all these different things, right? And toys. But Nintendo has moved into an area it doesn't really even matter if you're a gamer. Mario and all this that's crossed into like Bugs Bunny level of stuff of recognizable of pop culture, Superman, Batman. It's up there in the same thing. So that's why like your grandparents, no matter what system you're playing on, they call it a Nintendo because it kind of crosses over into a whole different realm versus where like they may know PlayStation, they may know Xbox, but Nintendo is a whole different thing. They have moved into the lexicon. They have theme parks for their thing. No one's gonna go to the Nathan Drake ride at
Nathan Drake ride. That's amazing.
But you're talking Nintendo IP and it's like Harry Potter type stuff. Like it translates into a different arena.
Yeah.
Like kids come out of the womb knowing Mario.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing, I mean, the one thing you really have to give them credit to is the fact that yes, man, their characters, their IPs are timeless. They are, I mean, and they're just as important when we were kids. They're just as important now as they are when we were kids, and they continue to be, and they continue to find ways to keep them relevant. But
yeah,
that's because of the nostalgia.
Just re-release Mario RPG, damn it!
And that's why.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea, Nick.
And you show up at E3 and say like, I know why you're here, but I'm not showing you that shit. I'm showing you this. It's like, what? It's like,
yeah.
I know you want to see Breath of the Wild 2. Because remember the way before, he's like, you want to see Breath of the Wild 2? But that's not what we're going to show you. I know why we're going to show you Skyward Sword HD. And it's like, And then the next time they showed
Sword HD.
Yeah, then the next time they showed you this almost the same clip of Breath of the Wild 2, which I love Breath of the Wild, don't get me wrong. And then, like you said, E3 was saved. So, like, come on.
No, and that's the point, right? Like, it's not to shit on Breath of the Wild. It's just the fact that, oh my God, man, like it is treated as like some sort of as if like it descended from the heavens. It's like, come on, man.
It's the only game that transcends Rise.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Can we go one show with you and me where Rise isn't a topic of discussion? It's been like 3 weeks in a row now.
All right, then how about Scalebound? Let's talk Scalebound.
No.
I was going to actually say on Twitter, can we get to a point to where we ban people in the chat if they bring up, is Scalebound coming back? You're auto banned.
Scalebound is
talking about that anymore.
Scalebound is in the same graveyard as Bayonetta 3. Let's just all get over it and move along.
I think Bayonetta 3 is dead. I think Bayonetta 3 is dead.
They're not talking about that at all.
You know what's funny too is another thing before I move on to the last topic. We are in our Discord, and Nick has been in our Discord, so he sees it. Nick, you know how excited we've been for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, right? And the reason why we're so excited for it is because it's finally a game in the same nature as Smash Brothers, where we can all enjoy it and play it together within a functional online ecosystem, right? Like, I mean, where we can talk with each other normally, where we don't have to plug shit into our phones. I mean, it's just your headset and your console and your friends, and that's it. And it's really sad that it has to, that it's like that, right? Like, I mean, we can take as many shots as we want at Nintendo and how funny it is, and they can fucking make all the money, the god money in the world. We're still going to continue to make fun of them. But that really sucks because Smash is an amazing game. It's such an incredible IP. And the fact that you got freaking people like us who want to gravitate towards something else because of the offering that we have from Nintendo and the accessibility that makes it just tougher, especially now in 2021. The fact that you can't give us a normal fucking online ecosystem is really shitty. Like let's just ask for more. Let's raise our standard when it comes to Nintendo. It's not just about fucking Mario, and Zelda. Like, let's raise our standards a little bit, man. I think that's really sad, honestly. But whatever, bro.
Yeah,
I am so
well
pumped for
said, bro.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I'm fuck Nintendo. All right, you know what? Here.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Meanwhile, I'm pre-ordering Metroid.
Yeah, lady,
I'm
I
just
know you're in
kidding.
here. I know you would have loved to join us on this Nintendo rant, but
Yeah.
next time.
Next time.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just gonna add just one more topic, and really, it's so 343 they said that Halo Master Chief Collection, it's gonna stop getting seasonal updates once Halo Infinite launches. They said that 343 can't feasibly focus on 2 games at once. So they said that seasonal updates are going to start once Infinite launches. And explaining this decision, they said that they're trying to keep 2 games updated with content on a seasonal basis is not ideal for the studio. Master Chief Collection will still receive content, feature, and stability updates in the future, but on a ready when it's ready basis. Additionally, it was announced that the Master Chief Collection Season 8 coming this fall is the game's final update for the year.
Okay.
I thought this was great because that means, as we all expected, that the studio is all hands on deck on Halo Infinite, and I think as it should be. You spent $500 million on this project. You spent $500 million on development and development of the Slip Space engine, and besides the marketing, and this is your baby, and I think this is good, right? Like, I mean, I think this is good news. I'm sure it sucks for the ones that that continue to enjoy the Master Chief Collection and the ones that continue to play it and whatnot, but for the ones that are looking for the newer experience and to see how serious they are, this just shows me that they are dead serious on making this as good as they possibly can. Right? They're not splitting up their teams. They're not saying like, oh, we're doing this here and you guys are doing this there. They're like, no, we're done. Right? And honestly, up until this point, if you're disappointed, I understand. But Master Chief Collection on its own right now, as we speak, is one of the greatest fucking gaming values I've ever seen in my life. How much you get in that package, and you can go and buy a freaking physical for $10 right now. I know it's on Game Pass, spare me. But I'm just saying, if you buy the game for $10, you can pop it into your Xbox and you'll get so much out of that $10, it will blow your mind how much value you'll get for it. So despite the fact that that's whatever, I understand it, but I'm happy about this, honestly. As a Halo person, I love it. And you know what, Diego, I know, man, Halo is dead on arrival. I agree 100%, bro. So it's because of this decision. Jordan, what do you think, man? You happy about this?
It makes
this off. Hello?
You guys lose me?
Yeah, we lost you for a second. Your face is still frozen, but it's okay. It's still pretty, but we can still hear you. Hello?
Back.
Jordan? Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Jordan,
yeah, we're good.
Dropping.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
All right, that's my bad.
It's okay,
my
man.
bad.
You're Gucci.
No, I was gonna say it makes sense, honestly. Master Chief Collection had a fantastic run, dude. Since 2014, they've supported the hell out of that game. You got 6 games there, right? And if you've seen what they've done with their seasonal offerings, like you kind of have a good idea as far as what the possibilities are that we'll see with Infinite. You got skins for friggin' everything. You never saw skins in 3 or 2 or even CE, and now they're littered with them. So, and also, you can now, even though the updates are not coming anymore, you can still earn them because the battle pass is permanent. Or I guess you could say there's no battle pass in Master Chief Collection, but those seasons are still available to be unlocked. So yeah, it makes sense. So it's cool. All hands on deck. Let's do this.
Nick? What's your take on this?
I think it's great. It makes a lot of sense. Get everyone on board. Halo Infinite launch, with it being the first free to play launch. There's going to be a lot for them to work on, tool, tweak as they go. So it's going to be it's going to be a process. And I wish them all the luck with that. And honestly, this won't backfire on them. If Halo Infinite is phenomenal, people won't really be worrying about Master Chief Collection updates, because it's kind of been the great thing is if you like Halo 5, they've been supporting Halo 5, been doing a great job with that.
Yes.
But if you kind of bounced off Halo 5, you've had the Master Chief Collection to kind of keep you rolling. They've been giving you content there. So if Halo Infinite's great, it's going to get everyone off of those other games, and then they can focus more on just keeping people in the Infinite loop.
Sure.
So to speak.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, man. A lot of sense for sure. Eric, are you excited for Halo, man?
Is Halo a shooter?
Is Halo is a shooter. Eric, are you excited for Halo?
Is a shooter.
Pew,
I
pew.
am a I'm a Halo fan. Yes, I actually am, and I'm crossing fingers and crossing toes that it's gonna be like on point in every way, because again, it's I won't say nerve wracking, because there's bigger things in life to be nervous and scared of and worried about. Not Halo. Halo be fine. Yeah. But as a gamer, you know, it's been so long. I don't want any of that cyberpunk type of shit around Halo when it launches. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So but to just co-sign on like what Jordan was saying, what Nick was saying, that I think it does make 100% sense why they're doing that. And I do love the story like around Master Chief Collection, for the fact that they No Man's Skied that shit, because it was rough when it launched. But like you said, now it's like, you know, if someone's gonna pick up, you know, like an Xbox or whatever, and like say if they're not gonna do Game Pass, grab that, because I mean that's hours of just gameplay. And things to do, especially if you have any curiosity. If you've never played Halo, you have curiosity. I mean, it's all right there. It's a beautiful suite. Yeah. Like, sometimes you just open it up and you're just like, damn, that's like just cool as shit. How it's all like right there. Yeah. You know, whereas opposed to, you know, in the past, we had to pull it off the shelf and pull it off the shelf, and this I'm gonna play this one. So I do like the fact that we're having so much Halo conversation, you know, and whether it's like positive, negative, whatever, we're talking about Halo, you know. Yeah. But it's just for 343. This is their moment, like to drive that shit home. Like, yes. And I'm hoping and I'm pulling for them to do so. I am one of those people. I am a little concerned on where campaign actually is, because I'm a campaign first person. Okay. I'm not one of these people who's like, you know, angry over the co-op, but I'm understanding of the people who are, because I don't do the co-op until like later anyway. But you know, but I'm also not like in there where it's like, you know, it's death to all 343 employees because the co-op isn't their type of thing.
Because you're sane.
Yeah, that is
disappointing. Disappointing that they, but hey, shit happens, so it is what it is. But
I think I do think, just my only take on that is I agree with you. You know, the fact that it sucks that it's not available. It turned into from a how are you looking at this from a practical standpoint versus like a selfish standpoint? You know, there's people like me who don't really care about co-op until later on, once I play the campaign once or twice or whatever. Right. And then I'll decide to play it with my friends, versus people that just decide to play it co-op right off the rip. You know what I mean? So I get that. I understand it. But the thing is the fact that they already said that the campaign is complete, and then Staten himself has said multiple times that he's played the campaign multiple times and he's so amazed. I know it's all marketing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he said like the campaign was, you know, he was even amazed with what they did with the campaign itself when he first started. I'm sure there were things that he tweaked when he first jumped in there. But when they say like the main campaign is done from a single player perspective, what they're trying to do is they just didn't have enough time to figure out how to plug in that co-op aspect into it. Remember, this is a bigger world that we're playing with now. It's a bigger open world. There's a lot to fuck with right now at this point, right? It's not just like a linear point A to point B type of thing. So they could have just done it half-assed, you know, and released it, or they could just be honest with us like they did, and they're like, hey, man, this is going to need 3 months. You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of people just were kind of skipping that issue. You know, they were like, I mean, at least they told us, you know, instead of just cyberpunking us and releasing it, you know, in a broken state. So I get what you're saying though, for sure, man. But you know, I don't know. It's I
think it's just it's a multi-layered like cake, honestly. You're just not sure what kind of feeling is going to be there, for lack of a better analogy, because of where, depending on where you fall on the Halo 5 thing with 343 in the campaign. I fall in the camp of, you know, you built me up to this great advertising campaign, and that's really not what was delivered, but your multiplayer was on point. And I know, being that they're going free to play, they have to push the multiplayer. I get that. They want to push the multiplayer. Sure. And then what we saw in the actual reveal of the campaign, we're talking about a year. And to me, I was a vocal person because I was like, that looks rough. I know people are saying, oh, that looks like more Halo. And that's great. To me, it looked rough. And I know that they delayed to work on that. And I know we still have time, but we're not even October yet. There's still time. But I don't know. and I could be wrong, my estimation, I kind of go, when you're kind of on point, I know he's saying like it's polished, it's ready, they just have to figure it out. I'm like, I look at it like, if your shit is smoking, you can't wait to show off your car. You know? If it's not quite there yet, you might go, I need a couple more months just to kind of, you know,
right,
tweak the engine a little bit, you know. So which one is it? Sort of like what are we doing? But to be fair, I'll say, you know, we were kind of in the same position with, you know, Gears 5, where they weren't really showing the campaign, and then that turned out to be fine. But also, I don't know if I put Coalition in 343. 343 has a you has to prove than Coalition.
Yes, definitely.
You know, so yeah. So that's just kind of where I'm at. It's not, I'm not in the doom or gloom phase. I'm just in the, you got to show me.
The angle that everyone talks about it from, it's so interesting with Halo Infinite, because there's general concern about, you know, the campaign, because it's been a while since we've seen it. I understand the feedback on that. I won't touch on the co-op stuff because I'm different minded on that stuff as a whole. But like, the interesting fact to me is like, all that 343 has shown off, and you know what people have gotten to play and everything, is the free to play aspect. They haven't shown off the part that people are going to pay $60 for.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I know we live in a Game Pass world and we all just assume everyone plays it through Game Pass, but like, there's like 5 guys I work with that have Halo Infinite pre-ordered because they don't have Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
So my thought pattern of interest for me is I want to see more of the campaign, because you haven't shown anyone that's spending money what this game looks like right now. And that's the interesting part to me, is like I'm sure they will. Like there's no reason they won't show a campaign trailer before launch. They absolutely will. But the longer they wait, the more people will become unsettled by the wait.
Right. Right. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. And like Joseph did state that they were going to show campaign soon, so I'm expecting something in October. I'm hoping October.
Yeah, Mike. You've been like skulking in the background, bro.
Well, I mean, I'm just not close enough to Nintendo to even give a shit, honestly. Like, you know, with even like Halo 1, like I just really want to just refresh. Like I was telling Jordan actually yesterday, I was like, man, I wouldn't mind playing through the campaigns of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 again, just to hit up on Infinite. And I feel like that's doable. I feel like I could do that and like get really into it or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good to say, hey, we're stopping one thing, because once you stop something, you can rotate onto the next thing, and they want income for Halo Infinite and not from the rest of the, you know, which, I mean, what a staple, you know, in video games, like, period. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, damn, I'm not trying to get too touchy, whatever, but, man, hopefully this is the beginning of a new era that they can like figure out what Halo is going to do, because if Halo hits good, it has potential to be something like a Mario or like a Kratos or Spider-Man, or I'm not saying that it's not, you understand?
Right.
What I'm saying is that it'll get that mass appeal out there beyond, you know, it'll make PlayStation players only want to get an Xbox to play this game. To me, because I only have an Xbox for games like Halo and Gears of War, you know what I mean? I really like those two franchises a lot. They were doing things before it was cool to do those kind of things. So, yeah. I mean, it just reminds me of any company that I follow, like NetherRealm. It's like, yo, they're not supporting this. That means they're working on the new shit, you know, and give me the new shit, you know? So, I'm pumped for it, dude. Like,
cool, man.
Every fucking, like, up until December 8th, I got nothing to worry about. Yeah, the camp co-op, you know, fuck. But, you know, sometimes game companies are like your bros, where you want to, like, slap them on the chest, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? What do you, you know? But, yeah, I'm pumped, though. I'm pumped.
Yeah, man, definitely. Oh, yeah. To answer Diego's question, will Mo dump the yellow chair for a Halo Infinite chair all fucking day, bro?
He's just waiting.
All day.
You need
I'm
that
just
117
waiting
on it.
Yeah, they won't, though.
Oh,
they won't. They just won't. I don't know why they don't want me to spend more money on a chair, but I mean, yeah, definitely. Man.
Yeah, you would think they'd be like all over that, right?
I hope so, man. Honestly, I mean, there's no collector's edition, by the way. They don't have like a full-fledged collector's edition. I mean, they have like a good-looking steel book, But outside of that, like, I mean, they don't have like a full-fledged one with like a statue and whatever. I know we were talking about
first time in Halo history, right?
Well, they probably just got their Fortnite check from the Chief skin, and now they're like starting to spend that money. And won't there? That's a joke, kind of, whatever. But the multiplayer though being free, that has microtransactions. Yeah, that has like a little,
They will have.
I don't know what it is, man, but it's really sad because I was really looking forward to it. 3 had the helmet, 4 did not. Halo 4 did not have a collector's edition.
No, I'm saying
that's true.
It didn't. It had a steelbook. It had a white steelbook, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice steelbook, but yeah, you're right.
Halo 5 had the lock and the chief statue that you put together.
Right.
And then Halo Reach.
Reach
Had the big nice statue. I'm sorry, Mike. I probably got off topic. What the hell were you saying?
I was asking if the multiplayer that's free, isn't it? Right.
Correct.
And then is there any microtransactions or any type of like little $5 things to buy or something within that?
As far as I know, there is going to be. They have said they are going to do paid microtransactions, but the key thing they keep hammering home is all the seasons pass stuff is earnable and not going to be buyable. I imagine there'll be a buy-in option if you wanted to. Every game does have that, but their big focus and marketing push is it's earnable, and that's the big push they're trying to do right now.
Earnable. Keep your players playing. Because it's really weird. There are no collector's editions. There's not a whole lot of like ad marketing where it's like chairs and stuff like that. But go ahead, Nick.
Actually, there is. The thing is I don't know why they haven't been talking about it. If you go onto the Razer site, they've got headsets. There's going to be, I heard there's going to be mice, keyboards, and Razer just launched their own set of gaming chairs. So Razer's launching their gaming chairs. So I'd say, we'll see how it goes.
They're like strategically waiting to slip it into everybody's nose. Like, holidays? Yeah, here you go, Halo stuff.
I don't want a Razer gaming chair, man. I want the freaking Secret Labs, dude. Yeah, we're chair snobs, man. You want that good shit? Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know what, Game Positive, you are right, man. It's definitely for Halo 4. We were talking about the collector's edition. It's definitely better than what we have for Infinite. And Ilu, last thing here, he's saying you want them to sell you a chair? They already offer a refrigerator. Yeah, but it's not a Halo themed refrigerator. Okay, it's
right.
Apples and oranges, Ilu. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for our topics. So we actually had a few more, but we decided to cut them short because some things are just not fun to talk about. But I do want to thank you guys. First, I want to thank our guests, Eric, Nick. Yes. Always a pleasure, my brothers. Honestly, man, it's always a pleasure having you guys.
Thanks for the invite, man.
We love shooting the shit with you, man. You don't get invited, bro. You just come on. I mean, there's people that have. Absolutely, man. We don't call this an invite. We ask you to come on the show.
Let me say one thing, Mo. I'm sorry before you. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm thinking about this now because you got me going in my head about the collector's edition. Okay, Infinite sort of did. They did the statue steelbook thing, but it all kind of, because of the delay, it got shipped all separately. Yeah. Because I have the statue.
Yes, Game Positive did say that. He did say that. He's in our chat here. So the two Okay, so there's the statue from Best Buy, which is like right there, right by my thumb. Right, that's the one that came out last year. Yeah,
right there.
The one that came out with the Series X. Okay, so there's that one, and then they came out with another two. There's the one with the grapple. There's the one with the grapple, and he has a blue energy sword, and then there's the one with the grapple with the red energy sword.
Right.
So I don't know if like one of them was supposed to be incorporated into a collector's edition with a steelbook and whatever, but I think you are right. I think they probably did end up separating them.
Yeah, something somewhere there. Weird happened there. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Unfortunately. No, man, you're good. I love talking about this shit. Absolutely. But anyway, yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining us.
Absolutely.
Really a pleasure. Yeah. And everybody in the chat, guys, thank you so much for rolling with us on Sundays. Thank you again. Sentimental time. I appreciate you all. Thank you for laughing and for talking and for all the shit that you guys, all the time that you waste with us. We really appreciate it, and we hope at least the conversations we had were definitely worth the 2 hours that you spent with us. Let me get to Nick and Eric. In terms of where can they find you guys and what do you guys do? Oh, let it rip, baby.
Nick, you want to take it first?
Oh,
Nick, you wanna
absolutely.
take it
You go first. I'm Canadian. You have to go first.
Oh. No, once again, guys, thank you for having me. I'm glad I could finally make it.
Yeah, sir.
Always love talking to you guys. You're some of the most positive people around when we need more of that. But yeah, you can find me Twitter, ECJackson with an X, where most of the time I just try to make people laugh, man. People take this take shit too serious, man. There's too much going on in life. When you come to the gaming side, yeah, troll, have fun, do whatever, but just be chill. Be chill about it. Better to make people laugh than to be a dick. That's how I look at it.
100%, bro.
So yeah, so find me there. You can find me Gaming Perspective with my buddy Nick here and Sam Tolbert. And other than that, Wednesday nights, Brat Podcast at 9:00.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Nick?
Nice.
Well, when I'm not here and I'm riding the moose or whatever the fuck I'm doing because I'm Canadian, you can find me spending my maple dollars on Twitter at Nicholas_Downie. You can find all my written work at lordsofgaming.net. Do a bunch of stuff over there. Got some cool stuff coming up as always, because holiday season is beat your games writers into a pulp because everything has to come out in the same goddamn week. And and you can find my podcast Gaming Perspective on YouTube at The Gaming Perspective. And this week I'm dipping back into doing videos again. I have one actually recorded and done. It's gonna be my first video release since 2016, so that's gonna be exciting.
Damn, dude, that's
Get
awesome.
back on that horse or moose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. That's good. I'm looking forward to that one.
Awesome.
A bad bit. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of other shows, about acquisition.
God dang it, Joseph.
I need to know.
Joe. They're gonna. It doesn't matter. Whoever they buy, it's gonna be straight bangers, buddy. Straight bangers, buddy.
Oh, don't do Joe like
baby.
that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
and then Mike, Jordan, you guys got anything to end on?
No, I just wanted to say once again, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Nick. Thanks to everyone that came in to hang out with us live, and to those listening on audio, thank you as well. If you guys are enjoying the show, we'd appreciate if you leave us a like, reach out to us on Twitter, let us know what you think of us, and if you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely, man. Oh yeah.
Also,
Mike?
for you Twitter heads that are in that space of ours, be on standby because we are trying to figure out this. We're trying to figure out a fighting tournament for everybody, okay? For Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. We're going to get together. We're looking for 16-ish people, maybe more. It really depends on how the game is played, so we won't really know exactly until we get hands-on. But we're going to make a flyer. We're going to set up some times. We're going to set up a registration, so get your mommy to sign off for it to get your ass whooped. Anyways, but yeah, so be on the lookout for that, though, guys.
Yeah. And Game Positive, appreciate you here, man. Yeah, we got a Discord. All right,
Discord link.
preach it,
There you
Mike.
go.
Oh, yep, Elu, yeah, but you too. Yeah. But we do have a Discord. Jordan just dropped it to the link. If you guys would like, jump in, shoot the shit with us. It's actually pretty. We have some funny conversations. And no Wiley, we do not have an OnlyFans yet.
Not yet.
Missed opportunity.
Not yet.
I know. We're working on it with Jordan. But anyway, yeah, man. But yeah, for me and the guys and Eric and Nick, thank you guys for being with us. Hopefully we you guys next Sunday. I hope everybody has a great week coming up, and you guys take it easy. Have a good night.
Have a good one.